Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 6 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. It is the Spring Creek MX Simulator National live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower. I'll be joined in the booth tonight by Andrew Wood as we bring you guys the action here at the 6th round of 12 in this 2021 championship. And both the 450 and 250 class championship battles have been heating up into the midpoint of this season. But the Millville circuit here, Spring Creek, is a very, very fast and flowy racetrack, a favorite on the schedule for many riders, and we're looking forward to seeing how this track shapes up tonight. First off, let's take a look at our hot lap, of course brought to you by atom.com. Adam Holm going to show us the fast way around the track here as the number 17 atom.com machine going to go through that first corner sweeper, and this section down here very fast to this right hand kink into this left hand 90-degree corner. We do see a lot of guys get swapped through there, especially as the track deteriorates throughout the moto. Couple of short tables lead you into the Millville sand whoops, and we'll probably see the whoop monster a couple times on camera here tonight, but you can see Holm, it's all about carrying momentum through this section. It's just riding that rear tire, doubling your way through if possible, and getting that traction back down to the ground. U-turn at the very deep end of the circuit. You can't even see this from most of the rest of the racetrack, but then again, Holm turning around and coming back through the second set of rollers, little right-hand 90 to a left-hand 90 over a roller, and then down through this section with new rollers added in this year. We didn't have them last year in the sim version because they were new to Spring Creek IRL last year. Going over the catapult and up this big step up to the middle part of the track, and then you drop down into the main valley for the really first time, where all the fans will greet you here at the bottom of the hill. Right-handed off-camber sweeper leads you up Mount Martin, long uphill. You're going to scrub this little single, then hit this uphill triple. The 450s will be able to get a little whip off. The 250s are definitely going to be trying to huck it. And then all the way up to the very top of Mount Martin. Of course, the Martin family, Jeremy and Alex Martin's parents, own this facility. Turning off the top of Mount Martin, though, and then charging down the outside to this corner here. A lot of guys are going to be trying to get on the brakes and get to the inside. We can see Holm here just pushing to the outside, long downhill into a right 180, then a little left 90 kink into a right 90, and this leads you down into the back section of the track. After we come out of this left-hand 180-degree corner, got a little roller into a tabletop, another little tabletop, and it used to go left-right up to this top section, but now it goes straight on. You got this big step up. Brock Tickle had a real big crash on that step up there last year. Then a left-hand 180-degree corner drops you down from the other side of the valley into this right 90 before the finish line jump, and call it the Holy Schmidt here, as Donnie Schmidt, famous from the Minnesota area. But then a little roller into the first turn complex, back through the Studio 8 hole shot line, and that's lap here at Spring Creek. All right, well, we are very excited to have you guys with us again here tonight. Of course, Kellen Brower alongside Andrew Wood back in the booth this week here for round 6, ready to bring you guys the action, and glad to have A Wood back with us again. Are you excited for tonight's racing or what?
I'm pumped. I'm glad to be here, especially after last week. We got treated to some great racing, so it's going to be a good night for sure.
Absolutely. Redbud provided a lot of fireworks, but perhaps the biggest fireworks happened right before the Redbud National in the EU GP scene, as Payson Johnson, with an illegal track maneuver, was actually suspended from the GP scene this week, and we believe he's also suspended for the 250 motocross race here tonight. And judging by him not being on the qualifying sheets, I'm going to assume that is the case. But let's go ahead and take a look at those qualifying times here in the 250 motocross class. Tyron Tomic, the rider out of Australia, goes fastest from Nathan Prynne, Alec Horn, Rasmus Balzer, and Ryan Pinkerton. So you can see everybody mixed in right there as we go down the list. Looks like we will have a consolation race tonight. Those guys probably out there on the track currently. But then we go to the 450 motocross class. Jacob Hubbard to the fastest one here in the 201.4 range, about a half second faster than Tyler Lang. Walter Gebhardt, Colby Eagland, and Adam Holm all inside of the top 5. And again, a bit of a surprise to see reigning champion Alexis Leclerc not in the top 5 group, normally known for his hot lap skills. Didn't qualify in the top 5 for the GP this week either, but did win the Grand Prix of France on Monday night. Let's take a look at the standings, though, and talk about this 250 class, because this is where it's going to get blown wide open. Nathan Prynne entering tonight, 19 points down there of Payson Johnson. So this is going to be an opportunity here for Prynne tonight, Andrew, to turn the tides in this championship and maybe steal the points lead away.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge upset. Payson's going to be losing upward or up to 50 points. I think it's going to really help Luke Sullivan and Cooper Hunt. I feel like those are the other two that can really get in this championship. If Prynne doesn't put on his A game tonight, and doesn't go 1-1, he's going to lose he's going to let those guys close up and make this a really tight championship battle here going forward after this round.
Yeah, and we'll talk about what it is that Johnson did to get himself banned from competition tonight, or at least suspended, I should say. But before that, let's take a look at our 450 standings here as Leclerc enters with a 16-point lead there on Tyler Lang. I think I did my math right. Yeah, 16-point lead on Lang. Colby Eaglin's still kind of knocking on the door there in third. He's not too far away from Lang, but he's going to need a good night tonight to kind of keep himself right in the thick of this championship hunt moving into the second half of the season.
Yeah, I like the underdog, so I'm kind of rooting for Eaglin here. Leclerc, you obviously saw that he didn't have the best qualifying time, so Lang and Eaglin are going to try to get themselves up front and try to capitalize on any mistakes that Leclerc might make tonight. This is a very high-speed track, but Leclerc always has really good suspension setup. So it could it's one of those tracks where those really fast sections, downhills with lots of braking bumps, he could excel there even without the fast qualifying times, as the track breaks down through the motos. So I still expect Leclerc to do good, but hopefully Lang and Eaglin can close this up and give us more of an exciting championship fight.
It'll definitely be interesting to watch in both classes now with this thing thrown wide open. And let's go ahead and talk about what it was that Payson Johnson did to get him eliminated from competition here tonight. It was at the EU GP, and if we go down here, you'll see exactly why he was not allowed to race tonight. So this was Adam Holm protesting Payson Johnson because they raced the MXGP class in the EU series last week. This was the Italian Grand Prix, which was happening last week, and this has earned Johnson a 1-week suspension from both the GP scene and from this national championship here tonight. And this is the real catalyst here was this cut of the second corner of the race. You can see Johnson going to the inside line here and then rejoining the track right in front of the entire field and causing a crash. And we talked a lot about track reentries. Johnson had a bad one at Red Bud last week, was also protested for that, but only got a warning. But you couple it with this incident as well, and you can see here verdict 1-week suspension for intentionally cutting the track to gain an advantage, and a warning for reckless racing and warning for targeting. So Johnson's got a few warnings on his case now and a suspension for this round, which we feared could happen with his track reentry last week at Redbud, but as we now know, that is not the case, and that is not what has kept Johnson out of the competition here tonight. So we'll see how it all shakes down. Jumping back into the server, though, it does sound like we have a consolation race for both the 250 and 450 class, so we'll cover that a little bit here and talk about what's going on with these guys. Of course, these riders will be going 4 laps right now, and the top 4 will be transferring through into the main motos. Looks like we're already on lap 3 of the 250 consolation race, and a bit of a surprise to see Casey Cochran on that BPC Yamaha in this one.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see him in here, but maybe he just didn't have enough time to get a qualifying lap in this week. Some guys sign up late and, don't get home in time to put down a lap. So definitely looks like he's running away from this one. But we do have 12 guys in here. Looks like he's got a pretty healthy lead over second and third. You can see coming up behind over the tabletop there as he's going to head into the sand roller section. Emmett Sun going to follow in second place. These 250s really have to try to get a good drive through here. You see them not completely able to double through most of these, but carrying some pretty good speed over there through these sand rollers. Very difficult on the 250, hard to carry some speed there.
Yeah, and you can see, like you said, Sund here in second, Will Clark in third. It's Noah Karasi in the final transfer spot currently, but he's got a couple riders right behind him, Christopher McPherson and Brandon Wolf, hot on his heels there, and got to see if Karasi is going to hold on to this final spot or if we're going to see a change here coming down to the white flag next time by. And as mentioned, both classes will have a consolation race tonight, so we still have a 450 consolation race to get through on the other side of this before we drop the gates on the main motos. But this is, for those of you new to either Pro Motocross competition or RaceFactory Gaming national competition, top 36 riders have already been seeded into the motos, and the other riders that did not quite qualify into that fast 36 are now racing for those final 4 spots to make up a 40 rider field that goes 2 30-minute plus 2 lap motos. And right now, Karasi trying to be the last guy into those motos a little bit later on this evening, but he's got some pressure coming from behind.
Yeah, you see McPherson getting that uphill really good closing in as Karasi made a mistake actually coming down the downhill after the big step up. He's been able to pull it back together a little bit, but it's never very comfortable to be on that bubble spot, especially coming down to the white flag lap here. And you got 2, it looks like teammates coming up behind him. These guys are definitely going fast and they're really close together. So he definitely going to be pretty nervous here. McPherson doing all that he can Looks like his teammates even closing up a little bit here, so they're definitely going to put on a white flag charge and try to get into these motos here. We could see some fireworks here coming into the last lap.
Yeah, this is definitely going to heat up down the stretch, and actually McPherson being caught from behind. Brandon Wolf coming from 6th, going to try to pull up alongside over the finish line jump.
Ooh.
And there's a cross jump if I've ever seen one. Wolf jumps off the track to try to block McPherson's line coming in the next corner, but does make that pass stick to move up to 5th. Still has to catch Karasi, though, to make that final transfer spot. And Karasi getting away.
Ooh.
We got riders down. Cochran from the lead is down. Here comes Wolf trying to get by on the inside, and to the outside there comes McPherson. So this is tightened up in a hurry with now Cochran back onto the final transfer spot.
Yeah, looks like Wolf has a lot of speed, and that big mistake by Cochran definitely cost him a lot of time. He had a pretty healthy lead up there. Looks like Cochran's going to try to come up.
That's Emmett's son now, yeah.
Into 3rd place to try to secure himself a little bit of breathing room. But Wolf is definitely right behind him, putting on a charge here. Let's see what kind of drive he can get through the whoops. You see 2nd through 5th here, all charging through the whoops at the same time. Cochran just trying to hold on to it as they come into this new roller section here before the tabletop, the catapult, and the step up. Cochran's kind of moving in on 3rd right now and making some mistakes, so these guys have definitely got to be shaking in their boots a little bit.
Yeah, Cochran trying to run down Emmett's son ahead of him and make a pass to try to get into 3rd, maybe have a little bit of a buffer, but everybody knows to tail aside from your race leader, which is now Will Clark, out by 4.5 seconds on Karasi. Then you have Sund, Cochran, and Brandon Wolf right here, all 3 riders on screen, and a few riders lurking in the background as well in case things really come to blows, as you have 4 riders basically battling for 3 spots on your screen right now.
Yeah, these guys, these uphills and downhills right here are definitely going to make a big... and
Sund!
there we go.
Sund, a big swap and off the side of the track. So that's going to allow Cochran through. And also by comes Brandon Wolf. So that should pretty much solidify our front 4 unless something happens to any of them in these last few corners. I doubt it. It's a pretty easy couple of sections, but you just never know with these guys.
Yeah, these downhills here at Millville are definitely pretty treacherous, and this is still early in the race. They're going to break down a lot more during our actual motos here tonight, and it's definitely going to be a separator for some people. You can definitely gain some ground if you're charging up, charging down the hill through them, but they can definitely come back to bite you. Cochran and Wolf are trying to get in there. Karasi's going to come by in 2nd place.
Yeah, Will Clark takes the win. Cochran will come across in 3rd behind Karasi, and Brandon Wolf goes through to the main motos in 4th there. Christopher McPherson, Emmett's son,
yes.
Seth Harnischweger, Hayden Stevenson, Jake Melton, Dylan Cavacuti, and Alex Helms, and Dylan Adams also missing out here tonight. As we wait for the rest of the field to finish and just make sure that there's not too significant of cuts. Not too often you see 5.3 seconds of cuts that eliminate somebody from competition, but it can happen. And we're waiting for Harnischweger here and Hayden Stevenson to bring it down and finish this one up. 250 consolation race about to be in the books here tonight, as we've already dropped the gate once. We're going to drop the gate twice before we even get the official moto started here tonight, as it seems like entries are up a little bit lately. It's kind of good to see a bit of fire in the series down late in the stretch here. All right, cuts are in. Brandon Wolf is solid, as is Cochran, Karasi, and Will Clark making it through to the motos.
Yeah, I'm excited for these 450 consolations that are going to be coming up here. Hopefully there's a lot of people in them, but the 450 class is definitely a lot deeper, so I feel like you see a lot more big names in there. Cochran was in this one. He's been doing pretty good this season, but I feel like the 450 class, it's just so competitive. So you're going to see some names that really want to be in there and some really disappointed people that aren't going to make the motos tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to see how it shakes down here in just a few moments. Back in studio, though, Kellen Brower alongside Andrew Wood hanging out here tonight. Good to see all of you guys in chat as well. Seeing a chat there, a question from Jolgan321 says, "Hey, Kellen, was considering buying the game, but was wondering if I should try the demo, but maybe it doesn't represent the game in its up-to-date version." Yeah, I mean, the demo, it doesn't really represent everything that you can do in the game. There is a lot more content available to you once you actually get the full game. It's all custom-created content, so the demo is more or less the base game, and the custom content is that we're using here with the tracks and the rider skins and bike skins that everybody's using is all add-on stuff that users make. But the demo does give you at least a decent indication of what the physics feel like, and unfortunately sometimes I feel like it turns people off from the game because they play it and they realize it's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's kind of like a two-edged sword where you pay the money to get the game, and then you kind of have this investment in it, so you're going to want to kind of keep trying to get better and better at the game. The physics are very hard from the start, but there's so much out there nowadays even without the skins that can help you really learn the physics pretty easily, some good setups. So
Right.
I would definitely honestly just buy the game. $42 I think still, and
Yep.
I wouldn't even want to know the amount of hours that
Right,
we
yeah.
have. It's got to be over 10,000, and you're supposed to be an expert after that, but definitely not an expert. But so many of these guys these days are picking it up quick. There's so much stuff on the forums that can help you get off to a fast start. So I feel like that's something I would look into. Just buy the game, get some cool skins, make yourself feel good, and it'll definitely be a little bit easier to stick with it, and then you can start joining us in these races here.
Yeah, and I often do see people complain that it's still $42. We're 14, 15 years into the game now, and it's still $42. But I mean, most games are, still $60, or some drop after a couple years. But the amount of content that's available in this game, personally speaking, for me, and like you said, I think it's totally worth it. There is hours upon hours of thousands of hours of content
there's so
to play
much
in this
more
game
now too.
And
I feel like
way
it's
more,
worth it now than ever
exactly
before.
Yeah, then when we started playing, there was maybe a little bit different, not as much content available, but there's so much that you can do. So definitely check out the demo at mxsimulator.com if you guys would like it. Here we go though. 450 consolation race is off and running. 4 laps, and the top 4 riders will be going through into the motos. A little bit of contact into the first corner, and it's going to be Aaron Rockefeller on the Underground RC machine moving to the front. It looks like he's got Jack Haley right behind him. This actually reminds me, since the Underground RC team out here doing it in the 450 class actually got skins sent to me today from the Underground RC team that is a Payson Johnson add-on. So interestingly enough, Johnson, who is not racing here tonight, appears to have left the Covenant Honda team and is going to be moving to Underground RC into the second half of the season. And obviously at this point, most likely will not have the red plate in the 250 class after this round. But those guys over at Underground RC picking up a title favorite, perhaps, moving into the second half of this season.
Yeah, Rockefeller with a great start there, but Jack Haley, it's funny because Jack's not putting that much time in these days, but as he's going to try to move his way up in the lead, not going to make the pass yet. Dualies. But Rockefeller got that really good start. One thing you'll see on the steep sand traction start is people that can get the front wheel up and do a pretty nice power wheelie down. They're going to get some big jumps. But Haley up the inside, even though he doesn't play that much anymore, he's still just got that veteran savviness. He had a great line through the rollers earlier that gained up some time, and look at him. He's going to start to check out here and just get himself into the motos.
Yeah, and I mean, Jack Haley is a great example of deteriorating skill set, if you will. Unfortunately, as you and I both talk about, we were both really good at the game at one point. Haley is still great at the game, but he's only taken, basically like a couple months off from like really actually playing the game as actively as he used to, and definitely not quite the winning pace he used to be. Still a great rider, no question about it, but definitely shows how much these guys who are winning the races every week definitely put in the work to come out here and win the motos.
Yeah, he can still definitely go as fast as anyone for one lap. I'm pretty sure he just plays about once a week for a couple hours during these races, maybe an hour before for qualifying, but he really doesn't put that much time in these days, and he's still able to come out here, and he might have just not even put a lap in. That's why he's in this LCQ. Dominic Tiberino, too, been around for a long time, but he's still got speed. Definitely doesn't want to be in this consolation race either, as he's going to try to move up and make this pass on Rockefeller. Probably going to try to look in, getting a better drive here coming into this first section here. Going to come from the outside, and ooh,
Rockefeller, a little mistake. Yeah, not too often we see in these consolation races. I mean, Casey Cochran was maybe a bit of a surprise in the 250 class, but this is two kind of perennial front runners, I would have to say here, with Haley and Tiberino. Haley, obviously a former champion, that's why he's got the number 2, but Tiberino, that 77 is his career number, which he has had for 5 or 6 years at this point. So Tiberino, a pretty regular guy to make it into the motos, and interesting to see not straight into the motos based on qualifying, but does get into second place around Rockefeller. Back here in fourth is Rockefeller's teammate, though, Zach Fisher, and he is holding on to the final transfer spot. Brett Thomas, their teammate, down here in fifth, going to try to catch up to that group. Got Travis Hoffman. So it's basically Underground RC and Jack Daniels practice session out here right now. We got a lot of Underground RC riders and the Jack Daniels Racing team there of Jack Haley and Travis Hoffman making up a front group here. Keegan Riley a little further back. You got Chandler Bloxham, Magnus Hastrup, Jack Fowler, who earlier tonight put his skins in the skins thread and said he was going to try to race his hometown race, but wasn't sure if he was going to make it in, and currently battling it out. Oh, contact! We got
stays up.
Riders battling it out here for the very last spot in the consolation race, but Fowler able to go around there as we head back up to the front and see it is still Haley from Tiberino, Rockefeller, and Fisher.
Yeah, Fowler was looking loose back there, but Fisher's got a pretty good lead right now on his teammate, but I mean, that's still one fall away. These underground RC guys are definitely repping, able to get themselves all up here pretty close. 2 of them in and 1 just looking from the outside in, trying to get into these motos, trying to get in there and have a way better performance in the actual motos where you're going to try to score points. But definitely riding solid here, not too many mistakes from these guys. So these guys are just trying to kind of cruise.
Whoa, Zach Fisher off the side of the track.
That looked like a controller.
Yeah, I wonder.
Something.
That was very peculiar and definitely did look like either a controller disconnect or a purposeful jump off the track, which not too often you see that. But I mean, maybe if he was going to try to let his teammate Brett Thomas go through, not too sure what happened there. Either way, halfway through this consolation race, 2 laps down, 2 laps still to go, and Brett Thomas has moved into the final transfer spot now.
Yeah, that was a little weird to do it that early, too, just on lap 2. So Brett Thomas has got to hold on now, or else they're going to be missing 2 underground RC guys from the motos. You know, you got Travis Hoffman back there just pressuring him.
Just putting in the work.
Just crushing it.
Oh,
looking real loose.
That's
standard Hoffman right there.
Old hamburger Hoffman. Hey, at least in the consolation races, he can't get lapped as Keegan Riley and Zach Fisher.
Don't say that, because he can.
Zach Fisher able to go by there. Fisher now moves back into that 5 spot, but he's going to need some help, I think, from his teammate Brett Thomas to move back into a transfer position. Does seem like our front 4 have at least established themselves enough that the gaps will remain the same, barring some disaster crashes, as Haley continues to pull away out front. 5.5 seconds or so lead on Tiberino as he heads up Mount Martin here.
Yeah, Tiberino only 5 seconds back, but Rockefeller another 9 back from them. Haley's definitely just out here on cruise mode, just making sure he gets himself in. I would be interested to see if he actually had a qualifying time, because it probably seems like he didn't. You know, he's one of those guys that can just go in there, lay down a cruiser lap, and just be in the moto straight away, whereas I'm one of those guys struggling to try to get in after hours and hours and hours. But he definitely got himself in the lead, and now he's just cruising with clear air. I feel like Tiberino's doing the same thing. He doesn't need to catch Haley. The gate pick from 39th to 40th isn't that big of a deal, so these guys are just going to be kind of cruising around. I like that JDR setup that they got going on. Definitely, I like the white bikes. Some pretty clean setup. I think they're wearing the same gear as they were last weekend. But yeah, these guys are just kind of cruising in. Brett Thomas now has a 10-second gap back to 5th, so Keegan Riley back there. I think these guys are all just going to kind of cruise in on this last lap. So
yeah, white flag is now waving for Jack Haley, your race leader here at Spring Creek 450 consolation race. About to end here, and it's Haley from Tiberino. Aaron Rockefeller in 3rd, and Brett Thomas occupying the final transfer spot, as you mentioned, almost out to a 10-second gap back to Keegan Riley. So definitely going to need some serious disasters out of anybody up there for Riley to sneak in. And Brett Thomas, Zach Fisher, I should say, has also lost the toe of Riley. So those guys are quite far back, and it does seem like our front 4 are pretty solid. So let's go on board with Jack Haley and have him show us the way around this track here a little bit and see what kind of lines he's taking. Another thing to note with this track as well tonight is it does seem like there's already quite a few pre-formed ruts throughout every corner and in some of the straightaways as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this track kind of breaks down from an erode standpoint as the motos go on and the lines kind of develop a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I kind of really like that as far as the tracks having some pretty good setup pre-made ruts. It just allows them to get a little bit faster and racier throughout the night. Instead of maybe one line forming up pretty big, you start off with 3 pretty good ruts, and you know, maybe 1 or 2 will start to get big as they're used as the main rut. But I feel like it definitely gives the guys some more options. The ones coming down the straightaway and the pre-made braking bumps definitely will get bigger though and make the track a lot harder. But I feel like you're going to see a lot of different inside-outside lines here that are all definitely usable throughout these guys tonight.
Yeah, you see Haley kind of working a few different options. Doesn't seem like it's one rut fits all, really. He's going inside here so far, but attacking the downhill, going to the middle ruts there. scrubbing these tabletops down in the back and laying down a couple 206s, so consistency seems to be there for Haley. But as we saw, the qualifying times in the very low 2-minute range, as Haley's going to bring it down here. 1 corner to go, and the number 2 machine on the Jack Daniels Racing Husqvarna takes the win here in the 450 consolation race. Dominic Tiberino going to bring down and finish it up here in second. Aaron Rockefeller, a little whip here at the top of the step up in third, and his teammate Brett Thomas looks like he will also go through into the motos, as our front four just about to finish up here at Spring Creek.
Yeah, pretty big gap between most of these guys, but they're just trying to get themselves in the motos. You see Thomas has a really big gap back to Keegan Riley, as we see a big backflip over the finish line jump there. Keegan Riley, props to him for staying in it, though. You never know what's going to happen with these hills. Something interesting is if you start going cartwheeling down some of those big hills, you can just roll and roll and roll, and
yeah.
an 8 to 10 second fall off that you're normally going to get can turn into 12 to 15 pretty quick, depending on how your guy decides to take a tumble down the hill. So
yeah, and we saw with Emmett Sundin, the 250 consolation race, he crashed halfway down the hill and still rolled all the way to the bottom. So it doesn't really matter where on the hill you crash, that thing is going to suck you all the way down. As we wait for a couple more riders to finish up here. And then 250 moto number 1 going to be on the flip side of this one. And definitely the storyline in that 250 class is Payson Johnson not going to be racing here tonight due to a suspension that he faced from the EU GP Series last week in Italy that has carried him over into this week. So no racing this week for Johnson in the GP or the National, as Hoffman crunches the finish line pretty good with a double whip. But the front four stay the same. It was Brett Thomas, Aaron Rockefeller, Dominic Tiberino, and Jack Haley here in the 450 consolation race at Spring Creek.
So much talent in Hoffman.
It's just
so
loads of
talent.
it. Loads
I
of
knew
it.
that was coming. It was great. From the second he left the lift, I was like, this is not going well. So Jack Haley, it's funny because he's 8th in points. I just checked, and he, even without too much preparation, you could definitely see him up there battling with top 10s, but he's also, without the preparation, he also has had some pretty bad motos this year. So it's weird because he could just be a spoiler, and he's good at Millville normally.
Yeah.
So, once he gets the flow, if he gets a good start up there, he can just start clicking off laps. Like, watch him go through the sand section. Not as good of an entry, but look, he fixes it right there halfway through, gets some hops in, and he can just lay it over into these ruts. And it's all about this corner right here as you get a good drive coming back through, just wheeling in, getting some doubles off, and then he's going to jump into this outside line probably twice as fast as most people can. So it's just watching these guys cruise around the track. They make it look so easy, and they're just so pinpoint accurate. But as the tracks break down, and this is probably one of the most high-speed tracks on the circuit, we see a big little underflip there a little bit.
Yeah, Haley just cruising around, and hey, we've seen crazier things happen. This is a pretty fair start here at Millville because it's long and it's a right-handed first corner, which you can kind of swoop in from the outside. So, hey, Jack Haley, 37th gate pick, gets a jump. You never know. Just don't let off in that first corner and come out.
I used to pick the outside gate no matter what, like the 4th gate from the outside, and that's honestly a good way to get a start. You get that front wheel up, carry that speed around the outside, no one's going to touch you.
Yep.
But Jack Haley, too, riding the 4-stroke, so it looks like he might be taking this one a little bit more serious. I feel like he might want to actually get a good result here tonight. So,
or maybe he just rode the 4-stroke to make sure he got in through the consolation race, and now he's going to flip back to the 2-stroke. But we'll see. That's coming up a little bit later on. 250 Moto 1 coming up first right now, and like we talked about, no Payson Johnson tonight. So 19-point deficit in the championship for Nathan Prynne coming into this one. Prynne qualified quite well and looking to dethrone Johnson at the top of the championship standings here moving into the second half of the season. What is Prynne's mindset coming into this one if you're him in this situation? Are you trying to win both motos and maximize your points, or are you trying to maybe play it a little bit safe and make sure you get that points lead?
I think so. I would be. I feel like no matter what Prynne does, he's going to be top 5 both motos, which I think he is 19 points down. So you're automatic. If you get a win, you're going to be up 4 already. But I feel like 2 top 5s, you get 40 points or whatever. I think he's still going to be happy with that if he goes 3-3 and does that. But I feel like him, it's almost a must win because the next person behind him, I guess Luke Sullivan's pretty far out, even though that's who I'm rooting for. But he can send it. I feel like he's going to come away with the points lead no matter what. So I feel like he's just going to be sending it. But maybe depending on how the first moto goes, if he implodes himself, I could definitely see him laying up. But if he goes out there and gets first or second, I think it's balls to the wall second moto.
Well, one thing that Prin has been very good at so far this year is his starts. We saw 2 good starts in red, but he got out front right away. And that is going to be key to the moto for him here, I think, as you're talking about with where he gets into the moto. If he starts at the back, obviously he's going to just try to salvage as many points as possible. But yeah, maybe he starts out front and can sneak away before any of the other heavy players come into the fray a little bit. Cooper Hunt, who took over the championship lead from Payson Johnson in the GP scene this week after Johnson had to miss the French Grand Prix earlier, is also a guy that could kind of play a bit of a spoiler here. He's not right in the thick of the championship hunt, but clearly has had the speed through many rounds this year and might come out 1-1 this thing and kind of inch himself back closer to Prin and maybe as well with Johnson.
Yeah, he's got speed. He's got 151 points to Sullivan's 158 in third. So those guys are pretty close. I mean, they're about 54 points back, but if Prin has a bad race, they're going to capitalize. They're going to get up, and then it's going to be a 3-4-way battle there. So Hunt and Sullivan are definitely looking to have good motos. And then you've also got Wilcox, who he's at 125 points, still a little bit further down, but you saw him go 9-1 last week, so he can definitely be a spoiler as well. So I think this is pretty wide open. You could see Logan Leitzel jumping up there, Cochran even coming from, if he gets a good start coming from the LCQ, he can put this thing, throw it down and get in the top 5. So I feel like this one's pretty wide open, and everyone's just trying to make up as many points as possible. I think this is a huge race for the whole field right now.
Yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting one to watch and figure out where the championship scenario lies, and arguably couldn't come at a better time in this championship, hitting the halfway point in the season. I'm talking about Rasmus Balzer. He won the Grand Prix of France on Monday, so he could come in and play a bit of a spoiler as well. We've seen him be very fast, but so much up in the air without your championship leader, Payson Johnson, on the track here tonight. And, man, this is going to be a fun 250 race to watch and see how this one all plays out. These guys out there on their parade lap, checking things out one last time and making sure their setups and everything are dialed in. So we get ready to start action here tonight at the Spring Creek National here at Millville. And here we go, 250 Moto number 1 coming up.
Yeah, this class is so wide open right now. This is just going to be a good race. Everyone's just blood in the water right now trying to score as many points as possible. So I'm excited for this. Let's see where Prin decides to set up his gate as we're on him right now.
Yeah, waiting to load in here.
Like I said, I was always kind of, he's a little bit further inside than I always liked here, but if he does get a good jump, it's just a little bit tighter turn, so you kind of have to let off and you allow some guys on the outside to get in. So as this gate's about to drop, let's see what happens.
Here we go. 250 Moto 1 at Spring Creek is underway here in MX Simulator. Nathan Prin, trying to take the championship lead away, is going to get buried into the first turn, and there's some riders going down. I think Prin, he just went down exiting the first corner, and it's going to be Braden Tharp with the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. He's got Rogan McIntosh right behind him, and Cochran right out of that consolation race also gets a good start as well. Oh, contact there with McIntosh, and Cochran going to move into second place, and Leitzel there on the 13, he moves into third, but we did see Prin go down. Leitzel now also goes down. Several riders auguring in as a tough spot on the backside of a blind single here.
Yeah.
Riders just getting clocked here, and this is a massive stack up. Nobody sees it, and more riders still coming in as finally we see Prin coming through in the mix here on the left-hand side of your screen on the 42. He is absolutely buried, but leading him around here is still Braden Tharp, the Phil's KTM number 415.
This is a mess, and that's going to let these guys who did get a clean start, they're going to just be able to stretch this out and try to get some clear air here. Braden Tharp had a really good start last week, too. I remember we saw him up there on that number fill machine. So he's coming down this hill, got someone following right close behind him. Let's see how these guys, McIntosh, how these guys can attack this uphill. Cochran right behind him as well. They're going to scrub that, and he's going to get the power down. These guys still have to stretch that uphill, look, barely making it, but getting the power right back down to the ground. There's no play right there. You just have to all business there. Braden Tharp's going to lead us down Mount Martin for the first time this race.
Sending it off the top of Mount Martin. Braden Tharp going to try to lead the first lap here. Also notice Prin, he was down in 27th, but Cooper Hunt was behind him in 29th. So a couple of guys that we expected to contend here further down the order. Last week's Moto 2 winner, Thomas Wilcox, he's in 8th currently. And the Grand Prix winner from Monday, Rasmus Balzer, sitting in 7th. So the fast guys kind of scattered throughout the field, at least who we thought would contend for the race wins tonight. And some fresh faces up front trying to make a difference here in this 250 class as Tharp going to lead us down from McIntosh and Cochran to complete the first lap here at Spring Creek.
Yeah, not that these guys haven't done anything, but they're definitely looking for a breakout ride against the class that they've been put up against. When you go in against Prin, Payson Johnson every single week, and you got these fast guys, don't make a mistake early, you got the lead, but these guys are just trying to hold on, and these guys could definitely go on and grab their first moto win. You're always going to have a chance to break through, and this might be the time with a big pile up and just get some clear air and just ride comfortable. You don't have to push it, but Braden Tharp's going to get a little front end head shake going in that corner, blow off the berm. So now Rogan's into this thing, and he's a little veteran here, so he's going to have Cochran right behind him as he's getting sketchy. You're going to have to watch that section for the rest of the night here. Casey Cochran with a little bit better drive through, getting that double-double all the way through the sand roller section.
Big moment here for Cochran, though, to come out of the consolation race and find himself right at the sharp end of the field from the get-go. So that might be foreshadowing what we talked about with Jack Haley in the 450 class later on tonight. When it comes to starts, it's a very fair start here. Kind of funnels in. If you start by the box, you pretty much end up right in the middle of where the turn goes into the first turn. And Cochran getting a little sideways there. So it really comes down to who gets the jump more than anything into that first turn. If you can get a jump from the outside, man, you just don't let off. Get a pretty good start like we see Cochran here.
That was huge.
Yeah, big whip at the top of the hill into second. Cade Matherly up into third place early on. The 195 stance machine. Happy to have his skins finally. But we saw Matherly have a pretty good run in the GP at France on Monday, but he's going to swap out and go down. There goes Balzer, Thomas Sunis, Wilcox going by, Fitzpatrick, then Kerr, and the 95 of Karasi also going through as Matherly's going to rejoin right next to James Wilcox. I don't believe there's any relation to Thomas, but he's right there going around as well with Ryan Pinkerton. You got Matherly now settling in, and then Kerr and Karasi are down at the top of the hill, so several riders going to funnel by, trying to come back here and see if we can maybe find Prin or even Cooper Hunt still.
Oh my
big
God.
crash. Who's coming down the hill here? That is Blake O'Brien with a huge yard
and
sale.
that's how it's going to be more than 10 seconds right there.
Yeah, coming down the hill. And looking to see, still no sign of. There's Frank Jackson. Can't find any sign just yet. Here is Nathan Prin. He is absolutely buried in the field. 29th place. And not too many riders behind him, but if you look at that map in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, there's a lot of riders in front of him. Going to gain 4 spots in that corner alone with riders down. Might get another one as he's pulling alongside. Trying to see who that is. The 394 of Johan Bordeaux, another fast rider out of France. Going to go up the inside, but Prin to the outside, gets around and moves into 24th, and this is going to be a huge uphill climb for Nathan Prin. Wow, there's Braden Tharp as well, and Prin lands on him. So Tharp, who was in the lead all the way back here just in front of Prin in 23rd, gets landed on by Prin, and now Prin going to lose several more positions. Where is Cooper Hunt? Luke Sullivan also right down here on the finish line jump. There are several big names buried down the field early on, and this is going to open up the door of opportunity for so many riders. There he is, Cooper Hunt, finally showing his face now up into the top 30, and this is going to be very interesting to see how these guys can manage their way through the field and try to catch at least some of these leaders. I'm with you. I think we're going to see a fresh moto winner in this one, and it could come in the form of mobgraphics.com number 89 of Rogan McIntosh, leading them up Mount Martin here on lap 3.
Yeah, this is just crazy. Looking at from 30th back, you've got some of your top 3 in the points now since Payson's out. But Wilcox is up there in like 7th-ish, I think 6th or 7th right now. He's definitely the one who's trying to capitalize now. He's really far out of it, but hey, man, if the races keep going like this, you see how it is when you get a bad start there. You're just stuck way back. So those guys, you just see them falling everywhere. So that's why they haven't been able to make up time. No matter how many good passes you make, you can come over a blind jump and just land on someone that you don't know is there. So that's why the start is so important. But Rogan McIntosh making the most of it out here, throwing some whips. You can tell that he's looking very comfy. That's my word right there. It's been a while, I know. But Rogan just trying to put the hammer down. And you got some heavy hitters up here as well as like Leitzel. So you've got some good guys up here. But Rogan already looks like he's got about a 7-second lead right now. Just trying to stay smooth, and Rogan's trying to run away with this one, but as you saw before, you can just one crash and you can get swallowed up. So
Well, the man coming from behind, Rasmus Balzer, is no stranger to speed, and the motorsport.com machine is definitely on the gas right now. Take a look at laps 2:07.3 versus a 2:10.8 and only 1.7 seconds down. Balzer absolutely flying right now on that 250 motorsport.com machine, and I believe he is Danish, although he races under the Swedish flag from RaceFactory Gaming, but I think someone told me before that Balzer getting tossed sideways a little bit. Yeah, that you can't select Danish flag on the RaceFactory Gaming website. So Balzer, clearly, he's up late wherever he is in Europe, somewhere over there, and trying to grind out perhaps his first career overall win here in the North American Pro Motocross Championship. Just got a GP win on Monday, trying to follow it up with a win here in Millville and closing up on McIntosh in a hurry.
Yeah, besides the lap time, you could just see how much smoother he is. He's got those outside lines dialed in those sand sections, just so much smoother on his entry and exits of these corners. There's a little mistake as Rogan McIntosh is gonna pop out of that rut. Balzer's going to try to get the drive up here and close this in, and I don't see third place anywhere near them, so Balzer is just going to try to make this pass and try to check out here as he's going to come up the inside. He's going to see if he can get down on the smooth stuff on the left side on the downhill. Looks like he's going to make the pass here as they got to funnel down in these ruts, and he does make it stick here coming in the inside rut.
Nice move by Balzer, just pushing the envelope and getting to the inside there of McIntosh, but able to shut the door into the next corner as well and still get the inside line. This might be an opportunity for Balzer to sprint away before he comes into any problems with lap traffic or crashes, as he now sets sail at the front of the field. McIntosh second, Cochran here in third, but last week's Moto2 winner, Thomas Wilcox, closing in on the 33. They're going to scrub dualies up the hill onto this step up, and Wilcox trying to make this pass on his C4 Designs gas down the inside, pushes Cochran out and makes the move up into third. Wilcox has been very strong here in the last few motos and might be a challenger for Balzer here into the second half of this one.
Yeah, Wilcox definitely showing some speed right there. We saw him win the second moto last weekend, so he's definitely going to try to put on a charge here, but Balzer is definitely shredding up front. And yeah, we got some Danish and Swedish people in the chat. It's 3:10 in the morning over there, so Balzer, hey, he might fall asleep second moto. You never know. So Wilcox might get a gift here as well, but he's just got to try to gain as many points in this first moto. This is the type of stuff that he's looking for, but Payson's out for 1 week. Payson's got to be pumped right now because Wilcox is so far down. He's just looking at Prin and trying to see how many points that he can make up, and he's back in 34 still. So over a minute or almost a minute down on these leaders. So Payson's got to be rubbing his hands together right now, thinking he's caught a huge break here. So we'll see how this ends up as the moto goes on and these guys start to spread out a little bit. Yeah,
and I also still saw Cooper Hunt 27th, Luke Sullivan 28th. So many of our heavy hitters trying to take this championship fight to Payson Johnson, and thought that maybe this would be the night that they could claw some huge points back on the defending outdoor champion, but it is just not going their way so far. 10 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap race. Still looking at Wilcox here, who's going to move up into second place. Rogan McIntosh down in the off camber, going to lose several positions here, going to end up behind Nick Tomasunis. Tomasunis jumping up the hill in front of him. He also lost a spot to Neil Fitzpatrick. And there is Tomasunis with McIntosh, and then Matherly coming up the hill right behind them. And thank you to people in chat for correcting me. I did not realize James Wilcox was Thomas Wilcox's brother. But we got a couple brothers inside of the top 10. Where else but at Millville, of course, where it's brotherly love with the Alex Martin and Jeremy Martin brotherly duo that we normally see here at Millville. But instead, the Wilcox brothers taking it at the 250 class, and James Wilcox trying to close up on McIntosh after that fall.
Yeah, James Wilcox definitely showing some speed here today. And I didn't know about him, but you didn't really know about him either, so he's definitely showing a good ride here. If he's matching the speed of McIntosh, who was up there, these guys are running 210s, 209s, so they might not have the speed of Balzer up front, but these guys in the top 10 are definitely crushing it, as we see Balzer's got a 10-second lead now over Wilcox. But Rogan McIntosh is just trying to put the hammer back down and try to claw his way back up there. He fell back all the way to 7th, so he's going to try to get up and chase Cade Matherly on that Stance Designs gas? Or is that a Honda?
That is a Honda. It's actually the old Honda, yeah.
Yeah, it looks good, though. That's my boy right there.
Yeah, that's your boy.
Just crushing it.
Yeah, what's his deal? Give us a little bit of a rundown, because Cade Matherly lately has really kind of taken off on YouTube with some of his MX Simulator videos, as Casey Cochran was down entering the Millville Rollers here, so he's going to get going. But if that's your boy, Cade Matherly, let us have a bit of a rundown. What's his deal?
I don't actually know that much about his YouTube videos, but I mean, he got way good at sim really quick. You know, he's friends with all those guys on that stance team. Tyson Johnson, a lot of the guys that ride in real life are in and around the SoCal Moto community. So he's definitely up there, but he got really fast, really quick compared to all the other guys. So you got some of them out there, Brandon Larson and Tyson Johnson, trying to do really good, his stance teammates. But Matherly, man, this last 2 weeks, I think I first saw him in the LCQ. No, that was Brandon Larson, and Matherly was running around 10 to 20th last week. So this is definitely an improvement for him, and a start and some smooth riding can definitely get you some good results. And hey, the more you ride up front, the faster you're going to just pick up that speed. And just like real life, you know, you got to get yourself up there, get that start, and gain experience. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him. I mean, he's running cruising in fourth, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have a couple of the guys up there, but I mean, look at the times they're putting down and the gaps that they're pulling. Casey Cochran's making all those mistakes. You can be a fast guy, but you got to have it all together. And Matherly's staying up and definitely crushing it right now, as well as the rest of this top 5, as they're all pretty close, except Balzer's got a little gap, but you know, one big crash, you know, on one of those downhills, and that's all gone. So
yeah, and I've talked before about Matherly as well, kind of credit where credit's due. Sometimes you see these guys have these popular MX Simulator videos start showing up on YouTube, and they kind of hit the algorithm, but they don't race sometimes as well, because they're really just out for the whips or the jokes or
that's
whatever it
for
is.
the whips.
Yeah, but Matherly out here, he comes out and he puts down motos, dude. He was racing the GP on Monday as well, did pretty good there in France. Now out here at Spring Creek, running down Nick Tomasunis, who's a real-life pro on that MXLocker.com Yamaha, and this is the best ride we've seen out of Tomasunis this year. I'm sure he'll be very stoked, running inside the top 3 right now, trying to perhaps hold on for a top 5 little.
We got to stop talking about people we like, because we're just not doing good.
Yeah, but we're about to have a little bit of a battle between these two. It seems like Matherly has been slowly reeling in Tomasunis, and he just got a great drive into the rollers here. Going to try to get to the outside. Let's see if Tomasunis has a defense. No, Matherly around the outside gets that pass done and moves up into 3rd place. Now he's going to try to set his sights on Thomas Wilcox up ahead, who has gotten away from this group a little bit.
Yeah, Tomasunis, it's insane to see the speed from these guys that race in real life. From amateur, high amateur or pro level, you know, we had Logan Leitzel, who's still racing up in Canada right now, I think, and you had Burkeen back in the day, and you got Tomasunis now just crushing it in 3rd, or, you know, was riding 3rd here for the better part of 13 minutes. So, I mean, still running top 5, and you're out there putting in work and racing motos and then going out and racing on the weekends, traveling. To be able to put in such good performances is insane, because, you know, some of these guys are playing all the time, you know, putting in so much time. So the fact that he's had a little bit less time and he's still putting in these performances is definitely awesome. And I think this is the best ride he's had so far. Cade Matherly is going to go inside, clip the SpongeBob, lose a little bit of time there, then scrub down the hill a little bit. They lose that rear end because you're turning off that flat drop off. So Matherly is going to go inside on that smooth line. Tomasunis is going to try to get up the middle, and this battle is definitely not over. Tomasunis is definitely going to try to fight back here.
Yeah, he is stuck right with Matherly throughout this whole lap, and it does seem like their battle with each other has maybe stifled a charge forward to try to catch Wilcox. Wilcox, by the way, is still trying to reel in Balzer. He's gotten it down to under 10 seconds, but it is going to be tough to catch the fast Dane out front on the motorsport.com 250. He is so fast and has been so good this week in sim. And looks like he is on his way to potentially winning this moto. Let's get you guys a top 20 rundown, though, brought to you by RJerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com and use the code SYS20 for 20% off your order over there at eatrjerky.com, eatrjerky.com. Please head over there, buy some beef jerky, use the code. Let them know that the fans of MX Simulator are fans of the people that support this game. And great to have the Wagen brothers helping us out this year with the broadcast. But they bring you this top 20 rundown, which is currently led by Rasmus Balzer on the motorsport.com number 250 machine. Second, as mentioned, Thomas Wilcox is down, entering the rollers, and through goes Matherly. Is Tomasunis going to make it by as well? Not quite. So Matherly, the stance Honda rider on the 195, moves up into second. Wilcox, the C4 Designs Gas on the 33 machine, slides back to third. The 999 MXLocker.com Yamaha, that's Nick Tomasunis, sits in fourth. And Trevin Thompson is battling for fifth. Around, though, the outside comes Casey Cochran, the BPC number 90. He moves into 5th, puts Trevin Thompson on the Cyber Designs 151 back to 6th. Frank Jackson, the Team Nami 47 in 7th. Neil Fitzpatrick, Proline Designs 71 machine in 8th. Alex Kerr on the Jack Daniels Racing number 84 runs in 9th. And Rogan McIntosh, former leader of the race on the 89 mobgraphics.com machine, now runs in 10th. 11th, Colton Hansen, his teammate on the 821 machine right behind him. Lane Wofford on the Underground RC, number 1 is number 181 as well for Lane Wofford on his Kawasaki there in 12th. 13th for James Wilcox, the number 74 Elevated Motorsports Kawasaki. 14th, Trent Adams right behind him on the atom.com number 44. And then 15th is Johan Bordeaux on the motorsport.com 394. Luke Sullivan up to 16th on the Phil's KTM number 18. First we've seen of him in the points so far. Sean Hambrook runs in 17th on the District Designs number 99. T. Johnson, which is TJ? Tyson Johnson on the Stance 159 runs in 18th. 19th for Adrian Wilson on the Yogi Designs number 759. And Cooper Hunt rounds out the top 20, the Covenant number 38 machine, just ahead of Nathan Prynn on that Phil's KTM number 42. So Prynn starting to knock on the door for some points, but man, time is going to run out for him to really make some big moves here. And he and Cooper Hunt have got to start pushing forward a little bit farther. Hunt going to blow the corner at the bottom of the hill, and Prynn just going to shoot by and finally start getting some points towards the championship.
Yeah, these 250 guys, it's crazy how they come down Mount Martin there. They got to downshift so much, use that engine braking, whereas a 450, I feel like you use a higher gear and a lot more braking, but it scares me so much because it can make you so loose. And Prynn was charging so hard there as we see him making a move right here in the 19th. He's definitely on the gas, but only a 210 as, you know, Balzer's out front, able to put down some really good laps. I think he had a 207 last time we saw him. But so there we go, a 209.5. As he gets some more clear air, he's going to be able to work his way up. But realistically, I don't know with how spread out these guys are. If you look,
and he's going to go down, pushing the envelope. I was just about to say, though, if you actually looked at the track map in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, Prynn was basically just the section with all the sand rollers away from second place. Second place going off the Catapult and up the hill right now, as we see our race leader at the top of Mount Martin. Unfortunately for Prynn, though, he keeps crashing, and I feel like this might be a bit of the factor with the championship pressure involved here. He obviously knew no Johnson tonight meant a huge opportunity for him points-wise, and at the moment he is gaining nothing in the championship. So this is coming unglued in a hurry here for Prynn, as he's going to get back around into 21st, but still has some time to gain to even get back into the points again.
Yeah, you can see he's got that speed, but I wonder if he's just making tiny mistakes, the way he's jumping in the ruts, all that stuff. He's just flowing so much, but I feel like the pressure just got to him. He's blowing that corner right there. You know, he's really good, and then he's making small mistakes, so he's not able, not able to make the moves as best as he can. But you got to use that clear air to stay smooth and catch up to the next guy, because there's a pack from about 5 to 15th that we saw on the map when we were on that onboard. And if he caught that, then, you know, I could see him going really far up. I was going to say he didn't have a chance until I saw how close those guys were together, but Prynn is definitely, looks like he's letting it get to him a little bit here. He saw a huge opportunity, and he's definitely blowing it. So, I mean, Sullivan was the best one out of the leaders between Prynn, Hunt, and himself that was up the furthest. So he's definitely capitalizing as best as possible, but Prynn's going to lose a lot here if he doesn't get on the move here.
Yeah, and unfortunately for his sake, it's basically allowing Cooper Hunt and Sullivan, although Hunt just went down. He was down with Adrian Wilson. That's going to push Nathan Prynn back into 19th spot, so going to gain a couple points there. Going to try to run down, he's going to go around Johnson into 18th spot now. And Johan Bordeaux was down at the bottom of Mount Martin, so he is 17th. 16th is James Wilcox. You got Hambrook right ahead of them in 15th. And then look at this fight here. Luke Sullivan trying to make up some more points, trying to get around Lane Wofford. You got Colton Hansen. You got Rogan McIntosh all in a line here. And there's near contact there as Sullivan trying to cross over. Off the track comes Wofford. He's going to get back on behind Sullivan, so that's another spot gain for the 18 machine. And trying to work up into this battle, maybe get into 11th on McIntosh. Going to go to 12th now around Hansen, who kind of blew the rut there. And Wofford also going to take advantage to go down the inside, move into 13th. But you can see these guys are all still pretty close together. So if push comes to shove and things start hitting the fan with some of these guys, that is only going to help Prin's case in the points. But Sullivan, obviously, like you said, taking the most advantage of this, of the guys we expected to be up towards the front, as he is now caught up to McIntosh and also going to get Trevin Thompson. Thompson getting over the catapult, now going to get past as Sullivan up to 11th. Puts McIntosh back into 10th, and everybody's still nose to tail in this group. Yeah,
this is very important for Sullivan as he's in this tight-knit group right here. He can make up a lot of points with all these little passes, but he's definitely in a tight battle, so it's a little bit scary trying to make these moves. You got guys jumping up right behind you. You've got, you're trying to push up these hills and make moves on these guys. He's got to get past McIntosh as Trevin Thompson gets him back on the inside, but let's see, he's going to come around the outside, charge down this hill. He's just got to stay up, though, because these points are so valuable to him. And he's definitely the one who's gaining the most from this moto here as we see someone down on the hill there.
Yeah, I think that was maybe a lapped rider, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was.
So he's moved up almost to 10th. Let's see. Yeah, Rogan McIntosh is in 10th. He's in 11th. So these points are going to start meaning more and more as he gets up closer to the top 5. So, I mean, he's definitely got some guys he can move up on. Balzer, though, has got a healthy lead, I think.
Yeah, those are 2 lapped riders behind. I just wanted to make sure they weren't for position. But here is Wilcox still in 2nd. Matherly right there in 3rd. Tomasunis in 4th. These are amazingly good rides for Matherly and Tomasunis this early into their careers, if you will. Cochran's still sitting inside of the top 5. Here's Frank Jackson, Neil Fitzpatrick right there. Kerr getting the corner wrong, going to get passed by Trent Adams, and then gets that wrong as well and almost takes McIntosh down. Sullivan lucky to avoid it as well. Kerr is still laying on the track as Colton Hansen comes through. Gonna get going just before Bordeaux and Wofford get there with Trevin Thompson, so Thompson must have went down again. Bordeaux rides the nose, and you see those guys really starting to struggle with the braking bumps coming into the corner after that kink. Here's Wofford, Thompson, Wilcox, and now Prin. So Prin is up into 17th, and you can look at the map right there and see if we go up to the rider just exiting the rollers here, it's P5 Cochran. So basically, the sand rollers separate Prin and potentially getting up into 5th if things really get crazy. Pretty hard to believe that he would get to that point, but he just got around Kerr up to 16th. So starting to salvage more and more points is Nathan Prin.
Yeah, for Luke Sullivan, I feel like that's the mark that he wants to hit is Cochran in 5th past that big group. But Prin's down again, so that's something else. Looks like he might have hit the back of a rider because I don't see him coming falling out of that corner there. But he's going to keep trying to make up these moves, but man, he's just struggling right here. These next 10 minutes are when the track goes to hell, though. And he's making scary moves here, getting up really close right there to Hunt Hambrook. As they're going to come in side by side up to the catapult. Doolies. And Hambrook's coming up here. Still got the lead on him, but Prin's going to come up the inside. Probably going to be able to make the pass as he jumps down that big hill, comes into the bottom of Mount Martin. But so Prin's got to make a move and got to stay up because Sullivan's the one that's already up there and can capitalize and really get to 5th a lot easier. Look at the gap. You still got all of Mount Martin. Rogan McIntosh was down, so that's going to move Colton Hansen up.
Yeah, Johan Bordeaux also went by. Here is Sullivan, though, now working on Trent Adams. So Sullivan has been very steady. Got little dually flick out whips right there. These guys, everybody's in this 250 class. Seems like every jump it's just scrub.
I love this track. It's so fun.
It's just watching them lay it over constantly. Still balls are out front, though, from Wilcox, Matherly, Tomasunis, and Cochran inside of the top 5.
Doolies.
Sullivan, laying it over there with Adams. And this is currently your battle for 8th. Frank Jackson and Neil Fitzpatrick up ahead of these guys, also in a battle, but Fitzpatrick, just made a mistake. So here comes Sullivan trying to get to the outside there of Adams, but Adams shuts the door, and it's very clear to see the line everybody is using through that section, and it's also getting worn down. This is Sullivan's opportunity, though, to continue to claw some points in his favor and get around Adams as they enter into the deep sand rollers here, going down to the back, and you can see just ahead there is Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I want you to look at how big these ruts are building up, these main lines. You can see everyone coming in. This rut's building up so much, and they're jumping into that and carrying so much speed. He had Adams right in front of him, but he's still going to get the drive there. I don't know what happened to Adams because Sullivan almost ran into him, and he's going to make the move right there. But the main line builds up, so the ruts get faster, but the braking bumps get bigger. So these guys are actually moving around faster on the track. You kind of see that with the sand tracks. Jack Haley that 1 year last lap at Southwick, just throwing down a heater because the berms are built up. You can enter so much faster, but I really want to focus on the washboard type sections, like right after the first turn, where we're going to see a lot of guys getting huckabuck and going down. So they're going to be scrubbing and trying to jump into these ruts. But I mean, Wilcox, if you look up there, he's only at 11 seconds still. He's held this gap pretty much the same most of the race as that one main line is building up. Hopefully we'll see some different ones in the 450 class, but you see him getting huckabuck down the hill there. So this track is it kind of teases you. You want to go so much faster, but then the straightaways, they'll just come up and bite you out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, and Wilcox, he had a crash, so Balzer must have had one as well to kind of even things out back to that 10 or so second-ish gap. And Wilcox, Matherly's still a strong third. Thomas Unis has basically just followed Matherly around for the last 10 minutes or so. Frank Jackson has now slid up into the top 5. We've lost Cochran, and Neil Fitzpatrick now moves to 6th. Sullivan is up to 7th as he got around Cochran as well. That moves Trent Adams back to 9th. And Johan Bordeaux now into the top 10. Lane Wofford coming through in 11th. Colton Hansen right here is in 12th. James Wilcox right behind him in 13th. Trevin Thompson 14th. And here is Prinn working on Trevin Thompson. So Prinn, remember, he needs to gain at least 19 points tonight to take over the championship lead. And right now, trying to move up into the top 15 would gain him 6 points at least as he gets around Thompson to take over. Actually, that's 14th, excuse me. So that'll get him 7 points. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was a huge win.
Yeah,
so
one.
Prinn, I mean, he's making up some – he's getting really not lucky here, but as this race goes on, it gets rougher. Some of the guys that aren't maybe at his skill level, you know, he sees himself as a top 3 guy week in, week out, having a bad race here, but he's just got that speed and a little bit more consistency, even though he's been having some struggle here. As we see that, he almost loses the rear end coming out of that rut, but these guys are starting to make more mistakes as the track gets rougher, and I think he's a little bit better at carrying that high pace through when the tracks get rough. So he's putting on a charge here. That's 2 more positions. He can get up to 9 points. So, and I mean, we're hoping that we're going to see a way better moto. But look at that, charging way too hard, tries to jump. They pretty much triple pass all those braking bumps into that rut, and he clips it and just gets hung up. Almost loses the spot again going off track. So this could either be really good or he can go on a wild ride and lose some more spots.
Yeah, Wilcox and Hansen up ahead are battling each other, and that's definitely kind of bringing them back to Prinn, and Johan Bordeaux just ahead of them as well. Looks like Thompson just went around Prinn, who was down again. Still mistakes aplenty for the 42 machine, and it does indeed seem like that pressure is getting to him. Every time he makes a few passes, he'll crash and lose pretty much all of them right back. And now he just got clipped from behind. McIntosh hit him in the air, so that's going to allow Alec Horn through, as did Sean Hambrook, and Prinn going to get going just as Cooper Hunt gets here. And Cooper Hunt also having an awful night at the races. He and Prinn almost come together, and he is absolutely fuming inside of his helmet right there on that Phil's KTM. It is really coming to cost him at this point. And when we thought this would be a huge night for him and Cooper Hunt, it's been a complete disaster through one moto so far. Many other riders getting involved in this situation. You have Luke Sullivan now trying to knock onto the door into the top 5. Neil Fitzpatrick's just ahead of him. Thomas Unis, Matherly still holding strong. And Balzer out front here with time about to expire. We've got a little over 30 seconds left on the clock, so next time by he should get the 2-lap board. He is either making a mistake or letting the 347 of Seth Carr go by. Not sure what's going on there, but he goes back by. So Balzer looking to win the first moto here and really put a knife in to all of these situations in terms of the points for everybody. But a great ride for the Dane out front.
Yeah, Luke Sullivan's the one really capitalizing here as he was able to make it up. He started just back with all those guys, maybe 2 spots up, but it doesn't really matter when you're 34th, 36th, and 38th. So he's definitely the one that's capitalized, was able to keep his cool, and maybe had some good luck. But no matter how the luck was, we've seen Prinn make these mistakes all on his own. So it's definitely him kind of imploding on himself. Balzer with a great ride, though, just out here cruising. He's playing a little bit of spoiler, though, for Sullivan and Wilcox. Wilcox is a little bit further down, 23 points behind Sullivan, but hey, every point helps as we see Prinn and Hunt are imploding. So Sullivan's gonna gain a lot of points back on to Prinn, and hey, if Prinn has another really bad moto here and doesn't score that many points, we could see Sullivan pretty close to being in the points lead, so he's definitely making the most of it here, and so is Balzer coming out and grabbing a win after winning the GP this week as well. So just having a really great week. Balzer here, just feeling pretty comfortable. So just kind of trying to cruise this thing in, not having to run too big of or too fast of a pace.
Yeah, 2 laps to go now as he crosses the finish line this time by. And time has expired, as you see in the upper right-hand corner of your guys' screen. Balzer out front, leading by 12 seconds. Wilcox still second. Matherly putting in the work in third. Tomasunis has been right on his heels literally the entire moto. It seems like those two made a pass on each other. Here we go. Battle for fifth brewing, though. Sullivan right on the rear tire of Fitzpatrick. This would get 16 points for Sullivan. And he was well down on Prince, so just gaining as much points back as he can, trying to get back into at least second in the championship before this thing is over. Pretty long shot still away from Johnson, but here he comes. Sullivan trying to get into the top 5, and a mistake for Fitzpatrick. And Sullivan almost had to get into the back of him a little bit there. Backed out of the challenge, and Fitzpatrick continues on. Both of these guys definitely pushing the pace right now. Sullivan charging to the outside. Might have a better line here into this section. Going to pull up alongside and makes that pass on Fitzpatrick. Now can Fitzpatrick fight back as they head into the sand rollers?
Yeah, Fitzpatrick gets a bad drive there, but Sullivan messes it up as well. So it looks like they're going to be pretty even kind of coming through this. I would look who gets the better drive in and out of this rut here. Sullivan, not the best. I guess both of them pretty average, but able to hold on to it. Neil Fitzpatrick has definitely been someone that we've overlooked. I feel like we shouted him out at Redbud a couple times. He was having great rides, but he's just kind of in that weird spot where he's just around the 5 to 7 range, and he's just super consistent. So as I say that, he's making mistakes, obviously. Sorry, Fitzpatrick. But some of these guys, it's like I feel bad for not talking about them enough because they're doing great and just crushing it with top 10 rides consistently. But there's just so much more excitement, sadly, going on around him that his these great rides are just being overshadowed. But want to give props to him for just staying smooth and consistent and coming in with a good 5th place. And that pass by Sullivan, that was the last single point pass, correct? So if he was able to get up to 3rd, let's see how far that gap is to Matherly, 27 seconds behind the leader, 33, or Tomasunis actually. So now he's getting into 2-point gap, 6 seconds to Tomasunis. So Sullivan's going to try to pull up, and you see them going back through those switchback sections. So let's see if he can put on a charge, but did the leader just hit? So they're going to have 1 and probably an 8th laps left. So he's going to try to put on a charge here and gain some more points.
Right, white flag is out here for Rasmus Balzer. And the motorsport.com number 250 machine, the Danish rider, trying to win the first moto here at Millville, pulling away from our last week's Moto 2 winner at Redbud. That is Thomas Wilcox, and another good ride for him here, but he just clipped Braden Starp. And yeah, almost 360'd out of it. Fortunately for him, he had a sizable margin on Matherly. I guess unfortunately for him, though, is that if he was trying to remain close in case Balzer had a fall off, that pretty much is out the window. Balzer pretty much has the thing all but locked up here down the stretch. Coming to the catapult this time by Cade Matherly, though. How about this ride for him? Going to put himself in a position to maybe land on the podium overall today with a 3rd in the first moto. Nick Tomasunis, also his best ride of the year as well. Looked at the results last time out and didn't score points in either moto at Redbud, then showing up here at Millville looking to get 4th in 250 moto number 1. So absolutely shredding on that MXLocker.com machine. Sullivan in the background, though, is still lurking. He wants those 2 extra points that Tomasunis currently carries in that 4th position, and Sullivan would absolutely love to have those points in his favor. Then you got Fitzpatrick, Jackson, Adams, and Bordeaux still mixed in with James Wilcox rounding out the top 10 as they still chase around Rasmus Balzer off Mount Martin one more time. Just a few corners to go, and the Danes got himself a moto win here at Millville.
Yeah, Balzer has a lot of breathing room now from that last crash. I'm sure someone's in his ear telling him that happened so he can kind of relax. But, man, some great rides by this top 5 here. And Sullivan, he was still trying to charge. Tomasunis is crushing it. The thing about him is I was going to say that he's got to be nervous from going with no points to 4th, trying to hold on to that with Sullivan pressuring you. But Balzer's going to round the second to last turn here, come down to the finish line, and take a easy moto win here.
Yeah, the bells are ringing in Copenhagen. Rasmus Balzer wins 250 Moto 1 here at Millville with a huge upside-down whip. He's obviously very stoked on that performance. Thomas Wilcox, some valuable points towards his championship bid here, coming home in 2nd place. A solid effort. I'm sure he would have loved to win this moto, but it just didn't quite play out in his favor. Still going to get a great run here in 2nd. And Cade Matherly, fresh into the scene this year and right up onto the podium before we're even halfway through. Gonna finish up 3rd here in 250 Moto 1 at Millville. Great ride for him. How about it for Nick Tomasunis as well? A career best as well for him. Gets 4th by 2 seconds. Sullivan ends up inside of the top 5. Fitzpatrick going to bring it down. He'll end up 6th in this one. Trent Adams should be 7th. Johan Bordeaux in 8th, just ahead of Frank Jackson. We'll watch these two come down to the flag and see Jackson maybe tries to put in a last-ditch effort down the inside. Not going to quite get there.
You got to send it.
Bordeaux.
There's some close finishes here, though.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking for cuts all the way inside these points battles. So let's see, coming back here, Rogan McIntosh, and he's been having some struggles here on this rough track. As it got rough, he dropped back a lot. So there's that Cochran he's chasing around here.
To get Cochran
this is
here.
Very far back.
These two riders were 1-2 in the moto at one point. Now they're just trying to get a few points away from each other down the field a little bit here. Colton Hansen crosses in 11th. We had James Wilcox cross inside of the top 10. Wofford goes through in 12th. I believe this is the battle for 14th coming to the line as Alec Horn comes across. McIntosh to the outside is going to try to charge it in, but it's going to be Cochran 14th, 15th there for the 89 of McIntosh. Sean Hambrook will get 16th in this one, and the disappointment here from Nathan Prynne will be immeasurable to come across in 17th, and for his sake only get 4 points towards the championship. Now it's a 15-point advantage for Payson Johnson heading into second motos at Millville. Trevin Thompson 18th. Oh, T. Johnson down in the final turn. Is that going to cost him points in the moto? It will. Jack Gadlin ends up 20th, and Johnson, after running in the points the entire moto, goes down in the last turn, ends up 21st. You absolutely hate to see it, as Cooper Hunt was 19th in this one, only 2 points gained for him. Got Will Clark 22nd, John Heilman 23rd, and Seth Shorley, last rider on the lead lap here, in 24th. Behind that, his teammate Brandon Nygren 25th, 26th for Tharp, 27th for Carr. Logan Leitzel out of this one in 28th, 29th for McLaughlin, and 30th there is Brandon Wolf. 31st for Alex Kerr, 32nd Adrian Wilson, Pinkerton, Thorson, Post, Klein, Vanderbeek, and Carassi and Gerst with O'Brien. None of those riders down in the 30s finishing the moto. Brandon Wolf already has finished, and there we go. Cuts are in. Let's take a look at our points paying positions. See if anything changed. Yes, McIntosh did leapfrog Cochran for 14th. Oh. And Jackson got around Bordeaux for 8th. And the rest stayed the same. Balzer, your winner here in 250, moto number 1 at Millville.
That was a good race. A little sleepy up front, but because Balzer just kind of got up to the front pretty quick and was able to run off with it. But, man, Wilcox was right there the whole race. Sullivan doing a great job to move up there. 5th place, that's going to be 16 points, right? So with, let's see, Prynne only getting 4. He's going to gain 12. I guess.
Still a long ways down. He's going to be 42 back now, as he was 64 points down. So gaining 12 will be, no, sorry, he was 54 points down entering. So gaining those 12 points, he'll be 42 down as, has a long.
We're not good with
long road to.
We don't do points. Someone else can do points.
Not a math show here.
We'll just talk.
But yeah, Prynne still has a shot to actually take the championship lead in Moto 2, but he's going to need to finish 6th or better, or actually 5th or better, if he wants sole possession of the championship lead in that second moto. And definitely a disappointing first one for him there in 17th. We also got Nick Tomasunis. He just joined us in chat. Says, "Yep, he's pretty excited about that
That's
one."
player 2 right there. You need to change your number to 998 for me.
He says, "Shout out to Flemdog, aka Wilson Fleming, for loaning him his suspension settings." So clearly working out here at Millville this weekend for Tomasunis. Great ride for him in the first moto. We'll see if he can repeat it in the second moto. But now, time for the big dogs, the 450 guys. And talking about Alexis Leclerc coming in, not the fastest qualifier tonight, but we also saw that with him at France on Monday. Still won the GP there. I don't think I'm concerned at all about Leclerc's performance in qualifying.
See, I mean, Leclerc can either go out and be like 3 seconds faster than everyone, or he can just be 8th in qualifying and just crush it. So you really can't tell, but yeah. I mean, I kind of like, I'm always rooting for the underdog. You know, I got Tyler Lane, Colby Eaglin in there, so trying to make up some points. So it's going to be an exciting race for sure. But, I mean, Leclerc just always figures out either a way to do it or the way to explode really bad, kind of how Prynne did. So
yep.
It's going to be an exciting race. But I feel like there's no way he's up there or he's not in the top 5 still, even if he has a blow-up moto. So that's why this 450 championship hunt is so tight, because these guys are so consistent. They're veterans of the sport. So Egan and Lane got to do whatever they can to steal as many points away, and maybe hope for a spoiler in there. If we got Jack Haley on the 450, maybe he can get up in there, mess up the points a little bit. But Magnetti, Eaglin, and Lang, all not too far off of Leclerc in this championship. So these guys are definitely going to see blood in the water there and try to do their best.
Yeah, just 16 points down is Lang in this championship picture right now, coming into the halfway point of the championship. And Lang has kind of yo-yoed in that position. He's gotten close to Leclerc, he's lost points to Leclerc, then he's gained, then he's lost. It seems like it's been going back and forth all year. But unbeknownst to both of them is that Eagland is still kind of in the mix a little bit. He's 19 points off of Lang, so obviously he's a little bit too far back from Leclerc to really factor into Leclerc's situation at the moment, but maybe he creeps up on Lang in this race alone. Lang has a good race as well, Leclerc a bad one, and suddenly we have a whole different championship picture moving into the second half of this season, and it's going to be very interesting to watch in this one.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time, and we've seen some crazy stuff happens. All it takes is one moto with these guys. We're talking Eagland's about just over one race points away out of this lead, but you never know what can happen. Internet issues, something like that. That was really cool.
That was cool.
Anything can happen. You can have one really bad race and you just score 4 points, but if those guys keep themselves up in the top 3, they can gain so many points at once. So while through most of the season they're battling for a couple points here and there, trying to get top 5s consistently, but it can go sideways real quick. So.
Yep.
This 450 class definitely a lot tighter. Luke Magnetti here, we're watching him go around. These 450s are going to have no way. Stop it. Stop. That's and
he
ridiculous.
Still got
That's
stopped for the
ridiculous.
run. He just charged down that hill so fast. But that's what we'll see out of these guys in these opening laps on the track. Is not as
They're
rough.
balls to the wall.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to watch this one play out here at Millville. There is the defending champion and current points leader, Alexis Leclerc, on the hunt for his 5th career 450 Pro Motocross Championship. And we go back to our live screen, getting ready to drop the gate here on 450 Moto number 1 in MX Simulator. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch this one, see how it boils down, see who can get the good start, and see where it comes from on the gate as well. Get the timer up and displayed and ready to go. Decide who we're going to watch on the start. Adam Holm right next to the box might be a good one. 30 card goes sideways, the revs come up, and the gate is down at Millville. Long break there. A lot of riders hitting the gate because of it. And Holm, a great start out of the middle, trying to get to the corner. Kawasaki's galore as Tyler Lang picks up the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. I do not see Leclerc. I think he may have gone down in the first turn chaos. Yeah, Walter Gebhardt right there in second on the 5, and a great start for this man, second in the championship here.
Yeah, this is a deadly first turn on this track. Tyler Lang followed by Gebhardt. Looks like we've got, is that Magnetti or is that one of his teammates there?
Yeah, it is Magnetti on the 30 coming in.
So yeah, we got some heavy hitters.
Gebhardt.
Oh, they're going to get into it, but both stay up.
Wow.
And Magnetti's trying to make a move, try to get up there on Lang, but Lang's just trying to, he's second in the point series, so he wants to get up front and just get some smooth sailing out there, put in some fast laps while the track is smooth and get away from all these guys, because this track on the first lap is crazy as you see someone else. What the
Who just
heck?
rode out of that? That was Castaneda getting taken down by Gebhardt, and he wall ride on the side of the track. Yeah, those like quadsies. Yeah. Everybody tossing it on the first lap. I forget, we should really watch the catapult on the first lap. Crossover lines. Holm nearly coming together with Gebhardt. Gebhardt launches to the bottom of the hill. That's Lang. That's Lang down at the bottom of the hill on the outside of Mount Martin. That puts Magnetti to the front. Holm into second place. Daniel Mills up into third. Hubbard now moves to fourth. Castaneda, Devin Davis, Young, Gebhardt, Janis, then Lang coming up with Haley. He is on a 2-stroke mixed into the middle of the pack here, but that is monumentally detrimental for Tyler Lang, who is in a great spot to just get away and maybe win this moto unheated at the front. More riders down at the bottom of the hill. That appears to be Jacob Hubbard. Another rider was upside down. We'll go back and see who that was. Jeremy Smith on the 4 coming into the mix as well. Holy Kawasaki's, there's so many of them in this mix, but out front it is Luke Magnetti, the BPC Yamaha number 30, getting away from everybody else at the end of the first lap.
They do know that the Kawasaki's don't pay better contingency like they do in real life, right? This looks like the real life 450 class where you got 30 Kawasaki's out there. But man, Magnetti with a great start was able to put himself into a big, good position, not get caught up with Lang there early. And look at him, he's got about a 6-7 second lead already. As we're looking back in the field, as Magnetti's just cruising around, let's watch him for a little bit. But we're going to kind of look and see. I'm looking at the top of the screen as well, too, to see where our points leader is. He is not in the top 20, I don't think. But, man, look at all these guys who are playing spoiler. Leclerc is in 20th place as we watch Janis right here in this tight battle. with Haley. Haley's going to come in with a better line into the sand section. Going to jump that double there and get a good drive and try to get that drive there. But those 450s coming up the inside, doubling through, seeing if he can make a pass back. Janice both going for the strut. Janice going inside, actually. But Haley's going to have that drive.
Everybody's stacked together. I see Leclerc in the background. He's not even that far off of these guys right now. But maybe the worst thing going for Leclerc is there are so many fast guys out front. Haley wall rides. Janice going to go through. We're going to get quadsies again on the catapult coming in here out front. Look at this. Only one big few bigger whips in the back, but straight air Leclerc was Jacob Hubbard on the side of the track right there. Everybody tosses it on the step up, but look at this absolute freight train of riders. You got Hubbard, you got Janice, you got the 77 of Tiberino, Smith off of the back of this, Haley on the two-stroke right in the mix as well, and then Lang trying to catch up and make a bit of a four-rider battle ahead of them as they all deal with trying to battle for second. Drag race up the hill. That's going to be a pass done and made. Tiberino gets around Haley. Smith trying to get into the mix as well on the four. Got Jordan Foster, Noah Bindis, Ethan Parks, Colby Eagland right up here as well. There is Tyson Craig, Reed Young, and Leclerc down off the top of the hill. He's going to lose several more spots. Riders going by. He was inside of the top 20. Most certainly will be outside of the top 20 now, as he looks like he fell maybe 7, 8 more spots coming down the hill. Going to be back behind in 24th there is Leclerc, but going to get a few spots back. Couple riders down at the bottom of the hill. This has been a tough road here for Leclerc on the opening few laps.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because all these riders in tight battles can either be a really good thing or they can be really detrimental to Leclerc, as we saw him getting into the back of another rider. That's why he went down. These guys are so fast. It's most of the fast guys in the class, only missing maybe a couple, maybe one or two, that aren't up inside that top 20 right now. So Leclerc's got to have a really hard time, and these guys are so close together. Either they can stack each other up and go down, but he's got a lot of shrapnel to get through as he tries to make his way to the front. But Adam Holm right here looking really nice, only 5.7 seconds back off of Magnetti. Going to get a good drive through these sand rollers, and Holm is no stranger to winning. I would definitely expect to see him try to pull back up on Magnetti here. These guys trying to both separate themselves from the pack, as you see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all the way back into the sand rollers. Devin Davis with a great start. Jacob Hubbard following Matthias Janis, Jack Haley, Tiberino, Foster, Jeremy Smith with a good start. Ethan Parks, Colby Eagland, Tyson Craig, Reed Young, Austin Bear, Pilsner, Blakely, Koenar, Alexander, Leclerc, all the way back there, still probably about 24th place. That's so many fast riders right there, so many big names that are just going at such a good pace. So Leclerc wasn't a good qualifier here, so maybe that's where we're going to see this hurt him. If he doesn't have the pace to drop 3 or 4 seconds a lap compared to what these guys are running, he qualified right around most of these guys he's racing with. So it's going to be really hard for him to come up as he throws some dualies. He's going to have to use some alternate lines. Outside line here, going to jump past, make that nice and easy.
Oh,
but just like
goes
that,
down again.
Just like that, gets into the side, gets a little huck-a-buck, and then hits the SpongeBob there. Is going to take him down. So Leclerc's going to lose even more spots, and this is one of those things that this is just like Print almost, seeing him implode under the pressure. He has so much stress to get back up there, and he is not making it happen early on. And Lang is capitalizing hugely. Eagland also is not as far up as he wants to be, but he needs to hear that this is happening and put the hammer down and try to gain as many points as possible, get up there, as Lang fell down to third as well, I just saw, so we had a change for the lead.
Well, provisionally speaking, Lang in third right now would retake the championship lead away from Leclerc. It's only 16 points, and Lang in third is gaining 20 points on him. And I think he's actually going faster than our leaders. We'll get a lap time check. 2:04.1, 2:05.1 Holm, 2:04.5 Magnetti. So Lang absolutely flying right now, trying to get up there. We're going to see how things shake down behind him. 2:07.7 Castaneda, 2:04.6 Hubbard. He's also flying. Devin Davis in a 2:07. Janice 2:06. 2:06 Tiberino. 2:06 Foster. 2:09.6 out of Smith. And then Eagland coming up in 11th at 2:06.1, so he is also on the move as well, trying to catch up to this group. And I know we're only 7 minutes into this moto, but any indication in the upper right-hand corner of your screen is how close everybody still is. It's an absolute freight train all the way through the sand rollers as Eagland's going to jump into 10th. Yeah, everybody's still very close together. You could pretty much have one camera on the sand rollers here and see pretty much the whole field still in a train right here.
Yeah, the biggest gap between anyone from about 1st to 30th place, it looked like, was that gap from 1st to 2nd there, about 7-8 seconds. Look at this. Everyone within Haley, the next rider there, looks like about 2/10, and these guys maybe got 3-4 seconds there. But look, as we see Leclerc rounding out the corner,
make a pass there,
making a pass, making some moves. These guys are still so close. So one fall, you're going to lose about 10 seconds on average. and you're going to lose so many spots. So these guys have to stay on 2 wheels, almost more so than trying to put in heater laps. As we saw Eaglin doing, he's closer up to the front, but Leclerc just needs to stay on 2 wheels to get himself back up inside the points and not lose too much, because right now he's easily losing the red plate here. But Magnetti out front having a great ride. Got himself into the front early and just cruising right here, trying to use smooth lines. We're going to have to see if he can hold on to this as the track breaks down throughout the moto.
Magnetti definitely opening up a nice lead out front as Lang has just made the pass around Adam Holm into second place. So Lang clearly the fastest rider on the track at the moment and making passes to boot. So gets up to second. That's going to be 22 points in this moto for him. Again, still nothing on the table for Leclerc as Hubbard also flying. He's up into fourth. Castellaneta, then Janice, Davis, Tiberino, Foster, and Eagland. And Eagland third in the championship, trying to make some valuable points up as well. Not going to gain anything on Lang currently, but was do some quick math here. 35 points back of Leclerc, I believe it is. And yeah, definitely going to try to gain some more of those points back here as Leclerc still sits further down the field. So Jeremy Smith, Tyson Craig, Reed Young, Noah Bindis. So many fast names up here. Chase Blakely, he was outside the top 20, already up inside of the top 15. Jack Haley on the 2-stroke, Daniel Mills, Jeremy Cohenauer, Ethan Parks, and then Leclerc coming through. So Leclerc still has quite a few big names to get around in terms of valuable points situation for him. But we've seen it many times before for Leclerc where he is well behind the 8 ball in the early runnings of a moto and somehow, some way still finds his way up into the top 5 before all is said and done. As currently circulating, I think, in 20th now. Yes, he is Leclerc, so earning 1 point towards the championship, but still, at least currently, is going to lose the championship lead as it runs.
Yeah, I think I said before, Leclerc is one of those guys that can either excel as the track breaks down and he's just got his suspension working crazy, or it can just he rides over his head if he's in the position. You know, I feel like if he was in first, he would be cruising and able to ride smooth. But since he's in a position where he has to make up points, he might get a little bit crazy, a little bit hot-headed, as we saw kind of Prin. But Chase B right here, throwing it down, riding pretty smooth on that BPC monster Yamaha machine. I think there's so many names. I was going to say before, he just has to stay up. But now I think I'm changing my mind with seeing the people that are running from about 12th to 17th place. He has to run the pace and stay up. Just staying smooth is not going to cut it with the heavy hitters that you have up here. Jack Haley, Chase Blakely, these guys are veterans. Also, I don't know how Haley is stopping on this hill. I guess he's just using his body because those 2 strokes have no engine braking as he goes down huge. And you're going to start to see more than that as you see someone else down there at the bottom of the hill.
As well, so Leclerc's going to go up to 18th. And is he bringing no, that's Caden Speck. I thought he might have been bringing where is he, by the way, as well? Braden Carter, your Supercross champion, outside of the points as well. Tough moto for the 19. Did notice there was a battle for second going once again. Lang and Holm pretty much nose to tail. How about this for a battle for second?
Holy.
Lang, Janice, Holm, Tiberino, and the 63 of Castellaneta. And we have got four different Cowie teams here. No, let's see. Underground RC, Atom, and then Integrity. So no, Tiberino just went down. Eagland and Hubbard going to go by. But yes, this battle for second. Oh, sorry. I thought Magnetti may have been down, but it's just the camera. Same camera going the other direction. Lang moves back into second. Battle for third is Castellaneta with a yard sale on the inside of the sand rollers. Going to try to regroup, but Janice a mistake. Outside comes Holm. Inside comes Hubbard. And boy, oh boy, things are heating up here towards the front. And I just saw a red flash in the background of Leclerc's #1 plates. He's entering the sand rollers as this battle for third is exiting them. So that gives you an indication Leclerc is not that far behind of this stuff just yet.
Is that Hubbard?
That is, yeah, Hubbard on the 11.
I love it. Janice, again, these Cowie's factory or CEO of Cowie shaking his boots for the paycheck he's about to have to write. And now he's getting pumped as these guys are starting to throw it away. Hubbard's going to move up into that spot, but Janice going to try to salvage it. We get a little Dooley Scrubs coming up the hill. Get some power down. Let's see if this Honda can make the move on the outside here. Not going to make it happen.
Colby Eagland trying to make that pass.
Eagland, you need some gear skins. Come on, man.
I might not have those ones
like every
for
day.
something.
Oh,
yeah.
Janice with some head shake there, going to save it and be able to make that second last rut. See, this 450 class, they have a lot more downhill speed than the 250 guys, so they're using a lot more of those outsides. Even in these corners, these guys are able to charge and carry the speed through the rollers a little bit better. Jacob Hubbard sending it into that face. Coming up here, scrubbing. These guys are trying to just stay as low as possible. I was going to mention earlier, you said 250s were scrubbing a lot. These 450s, they don't want to slow down, so they just try to come in with more speed and throw it down even harder. And Hubbard, man, he looks like he's on the charge right now, but I guess all these guys do. These guys are all going so close to the same speed, this is just an insane race right now. The only person who has it consistent is Luke Magnetti as he's starting to gap the field. Jacob Hubbard, though, trying to move up on Adam Holm here. Adam Holm went down apparently and took Lang. That's why there is that big gap, but Hubbard is moving on up. Let's see if he can throw down a heater lap and get it together, pushing too wide. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, not close enough yet to make anything happen with Adam Holm ahead of him. But as you mentioned, entering the sand section now, and Hubbard getting through it pretty good. Holm got through it pretty good as well. Hubbard a little out of shape, gonna have to go to the outside here. That's times costly right there. Lang was down and trying to get going now. Eagland gaining points towards Lang in the championship, so things have turned the tides in a hurry. That puts Eagland up into fourth, I believe, as Holm goes through. No, excuse me, Eagland into third now, going to gain 20 points for his finish as it runs. We're not even halfway yet, though. There's so much of this race still to go. Dooley's in the background. Janice side by side with Hubbard tossing filth, and they're still throwing side by side. Hubbard trying to get to the inside of Janice. They're pushing on Eagland right now, and still in the background there is Lang coming down the hill on the 14.
I'm surprised to see what Hubbard can do here, because you saw that drive he had through the sand section. Scrub Dooley coming up the hill, but he's going to get past here on the outside. No, he's not going to be able to make it stick. Let's see what happens. They both get the inside route here. See if one of them is going to commit more down this hill. Not looking like we're going to see a change, but Hubbard definitely has that speed. He just got a little kick, and those sand rollers had to go outside to that rut that wasn't built up. Made one little mistake, but I could see him definitely putting a charge back on the Eagland here. Eagland is crushing it too, so Hubbard looks like he might be the fastest one on the track right now as it stands. Jumping into that face. Look, as Lang is going to do the same. He's trying to make it back up here. Try to get Eagland to get more points on him. That's his closest championship contender right now, as far as he's concerned, with Leclerc so far back. So this is the battle to watch right here. Eagland, Hubbard, and Lang running up here in the front.
Yeah, you talk about sending it down the hill. Hubbard basically closed the gap between himself and Eagland in one downhill, and that has afforded him the opportunity to push up to the 24 machine and try to make this pass. This is the battle for third on your screen right now. Race leader continues to be Luke Magnetti at the halfway point. Adam Holm back in a second after a few mistakes there, coming together with Tyler Lang. Colby Eagland has now found his way up into third. Jacob Hubbard here on the screen is in fourth, and he's going to slide out and go down. So Hubbard is down. There goes Lang. There goes Janice. And also coming through right there is Jordan Foster. And Hubbard going to get going just as the 4 of Jeremy Smith goes by as well. And I also notice gap down to our leader has gone down to just 8 seconds. So I wonder if perhaps Magnetti had a fall-off crash somewhere and has lost a little bit of time. So Holm closed the gap down a little bit. There's Eagland. There is Lang. There's Janice. That is your top 5 right now. In fact, while we're up here, let's go ahead and give a real quick top 20 rundown. This one brought to you by atom.com. The man himself currently running inside of the top 5 of this moto. But atom.com putting out some good music and some cool merch over there, so check him out. Thanks again for coming on board on the streams this year, Adam Holm. But Luke Magnetti leads the race here on the BPC Yamaha, the number 30 machine, away from Adam Holm in second on that atom.com number 17. Third, Luke Magnetti, Colby Eagland, I should say, on the Covenant number 24, has Tyler Lang breathing down his neck. Lang on the Underground RC number 14 is right there. We'll come back to this battle in a second. Matthias Janice runs in fifth, the Underground RC number 130 machine. Sixth for Jordan Foster on the atom.com. I believe he's number 581, but he's using Holm skins right now. And then now moving into sixth is, Hubbard. What is going on with Hubbard?
I don't.
Does Hubbard realize he has missed timing gates? Hubbard does not realize he has missed timing gates.
So it's fixing itself right now.
Yeah, okay, here it is.
There's been some desync.
Finally updating, and I don't believe he's in 8th, is he? No, I guess he must be.
So.
Yeah, he is. Jeremy Smith, 7th on the Ford Tegrity machine. 8th now for Hubbard on the Phil's KTM number 11. And Leclerc up to 9th on the number 1 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing machine. 10th, Devin Davis on the number 29. And Braden Castaneda 11th, Underground RC number 63. 12th, Tyson Craig on the atom.com machine as well. I think he is also running Adams skins. No,
he's
using,
running his gear.
I think he's actually using Trent Adams.
He is
on the 44.
The atom.com team. They're just
they're a little scattered.
They didn't do laundry. They're just sharing as much as they can.
Dominic Tipperino here in 13th on the Tegrity number 77. Noah Bindis, the TemeculaMotorsports.com machine, runs in 14th. 15th, Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21. 16th is Daniel Mills on the Jack Daniels Racing number 15. 17th for Caden Speck, the Phil's KTM number 75. And he's down. Austin Bear going to go by the teammate on that Phil's KTM number 944 machine. Moves up into, what is this, 17th? Where are we? 17th, yes. Reed Young, Tegrity machine on the number 37 comes through in 18th now. Speck drops to 19th, and Jeremy Cohenauer on the number 15 MV Films Honda runs in 20th. Braden Carter, your Supercross champion, trying to pass him as they go into the Millville Rollers, and I think Carter is going to just have enough oomph to get to the outside and make this happen. Oh, side by side, and he is going to get it done up into 20th.
Almost. Never mind. I was going to say something bad there. Look at this donation we got right here. That's like $1 million in Canadian money.
$279 Canadian dollars from Poocats says, "Can I hear some intense overreacting commentary?"
We got to get a battle and do that before the baby goes to sleep.
All right, here we go. Here we got a battle that could determine the championship. It's Colby Eaglin battling it out with Tyler Lang. Lang trying to gain some points on Leclerc, the number 14 machine. He is trying to get some points back on your championship leader, but he is losing points to the man third in the championship. That is Colby Eaglin on the Covenant number 24. Both of these guys trying to go around Adam Holm.
And Holm is
down in the mechanics area. Eaglin, he's going to move up into second, Lang up to third.
And we got a four-way battle for the lead here. Tyler Lang using the outside. Magnetti actually has lost some time, but Eaglin's only in second place. Going to try to get a good drive into these sand rollers here. Let's see what he can do here as we have... that he just stuffed the Cowie behind him. Colby Eaglin with a great drive here. Let's see what he's going to do. Inside, outside. Where's he go? Scrubs into the inside, makes a mistake. Oh, no.
That rut is so deep right there.
It's so bad on the 450s.
Bury it in. But you can see 3 riders in line here battling for second. And as mentioned, your race leader, Luke Magnetti, had a mistake, and he is just out of frame right now ahead of this group. So they are only 3 or 4 seconds off the lead. Are Eagland, Lang, and Adam Holmes sneaking up into the picture as well here. This little train battling for second is going to get absolutely insane. I can only imagine as the race develops now into the the final third of the moto with 20 minutes gone, 10 minutes, and 2 laps still to go.
I don't know why I turned into like a game show commentator voice a little bit into that. I feel because there wasn't even that insane of action, so I was just, all right, come on down, Tyler Lang.
Okay.
You on third place position. Okay. Tyler Lang in third place right now, chasing Colby Eaglin. Definitely doesn't want to lose this position as we get some Huckabuck there, and he's going to save it coming into the outside. No. My eyes just having to come on, man. Tyler Lang, though, man, look at this battle 2, 3, 4 right here, though. We don't even have to fake the excitement here because Tyler Lang trying to make a move up here. Doesn't want to lose. It's only 2 points, this position right here to Eaglin. But, hey, in this 450 championship being so tight, that is a lot here. And Leclerc is making up so much. Lang wants to get as many as possible to try to get himself into a red play position here. Lang's going to try to come down the inside. Doesn't make it work, but he's moving up so close right here. It's within a second. Tyler Lang going to come. Let's see if he uses an alternate line or if they both go to the same inside that everyone's kind of forced to use. This is where I'm going to see if he moves over to the outside here and tries to swing it in a little bit more, get a little bit more of a drive down this Wasborn section through past the mechanics area. Doesn't look like he's going to make a charge. Actually lost some ground there. So this battle getting a little stale here, but the sand rollers could determine everything here as we watch our leaders coming into this. Magnetti's checked out, got a great drive. Let's see what we can get from behind them. Eaglin getting a good drive through. Lang bouncing around back there, and Adam Holm just kind of cruising, following. These guys all running an insane pace. You see that triple into that rut there. All these guys nailing it. Is that Who's up behind
them?
them?
That's not for position,
okay.
But Janice, Hubbard, and then Leclerc coming into frame. Leclerc is still just the sand rollers behind that battle that we're watching for second, which is absolutely insane when you saw how many times he fell at the beginning of this moto and how much ground he had lost. Now he's working on Hubbard potentially to get into 7th, and I have a feeling Leclerc has his eyes still set on a top 5 in this one to try to salvage as many points as he can.
Yeah, Leclerc, he's just put on a charge as we see him almost make a mistake here. Let's see if he straight airs it or if he tosses it. Leclerc's got so much style throughout the day, or throughout the years actually. But so these guys on 450s, they look like they're tossing it so big, looking like they're smooth and comfortable, but really they're just going so fast, needing to scrub that speed. Magnetti making his way through all of these lappers here. As we're only 22 minutes into this moto, man, there's so much time left, and I feel like so much has happened here. Magnetti on that BPC ride going to try to take this thing home, but he's got at least 10 more minutes here in this moto here.
Yeah,
as he's battling all these guys. Look how rough it's getting coming into these sections.
Things are about to get spicy. Here comes Eagland.
Oh my
Here comes
God,
Lang.
they're so close.
Closing up on a hurry, and Holm right behind these guys as well. I feel like Lang's perspective is going to give us the best indication. You can see Magnetti just ahead of these guys. We're about to have a 3 and maybe even 4 rider battle for the lead here.
That's hot.
And this is going to be absolutely insane as Eagland nearly came to blows with a lapped rider. 206.6, 206.2, 209.6. And behind them, a 207.4 out of Holm. He is right there with these guys as well. But Eagland, the fastest rider on the track in this group, lays it down, does not fall off the bike. That is critical. Going to get going behind Holm, still in it with a shot at the mix. But that is going to allow Lang up into 2nd. And now he senses an opportunity to try to take the lead away.
I like that name, Spaghetti Magnetti. He's got to be feeling the heat up here as Lang is crushing it. It gets a bad drive into the sand rollers, though, so we'll see how Magnetti... Oh, Mr. Spaghetti made a bad entrance, too, so they're both trying to salvage this, get back into the rhythm. Lang with that smooth, didn't triple in there, but had a smooth entry from the outside, missed all those bumps. And he's just trying to gain up and look at the gap that he is closing here. Magnetti is feeling the pressure. He doesn't have as much experience as the rest of these guys here. I know he's been around for a while, but... I feel like not winning as much as these other guys have. Lang, though, making some mistakes, but still tossing it, trying to scrub. That was nuts. I love whips. If you want to get shouted out, just throw a fat whip for me. But Lang definitely moving up.
Here we go.
Magnetti blows it.
Yeah, Magnetti a mistake, and Lang going to try to get to the outside. Now switches back to the inside. They funnel into this inside rut together, and as these two battle, you can see that Holm right there in the background lurking as Lang trying to go up the inside of Magnetti. Not going to get it done just yet, but we saw Magnetti a lap ago. He had some troubles getting to the ruts at the bottom of the hill, was swapping down the hill, going to charge to the outside again. Lang goes to the inside. There is Holm. There is Eagland in the background. Lang going to try to get to this inside. I don't see Magnetti, but he's outside there, still holding on to the lead. This is going to be an insane battle at the front, and this is probably only going to benefit Leclerc trying to catch this group if everybody gets together and start fighting each other.
So we see 3rd place around that corner there, and then I think 4th maybe, or it's a bigger gap, but look at this,
you can
2
still
seconds
see
between
Eagland
the top
back
3.
there.
Yeah, Eagland 3.7 seconds back. Leclerc into 5th, but he's 18 seconds behind. As we see,
Rider down, lapped rider, but
here's
Lang switching it back to the inside, going to try to get the nose in there on Magnetti. Not quite just yet, but almost pulls alongside. They scrub nearly side by side over the finish line jump. Magnetti gets the power back down, and Lang still has not been able to get a pass done. Holm is lurking, and you can see just off the back of them as well is Eagland, and anything could happen here in the last 4 minutes and 2 laps of this race. Magnetti riding the nose. Lang pushing to the outside, gonna go for the lead. Here comes Lang to the lead on Magnetti, and he's got it.
Yeah, let's see if Magnetti can fight back here. Who gets the better drive into the sand section? Magnetti's going to blow it. Lang's going to get a pretty good one, but Magnetti goes outside, actually getting a drive up the inside. Let's see if he can close it in. He's doubling. Let's see what happens here. Pushes him out.
Contact. They're high-centered on the right. Holm is stuck in the corner. Eagland outside is going to go to the race lead. 4th to 1st in 1 turn. Magnetti back to 2nd. Lang now to 3rd, and Holm back to 4th. The battle continues, but Colby Eagland has taken over the lead.
Oh my gosh, that was insane. Magnetti had a great drive through up the inside of those sand rollers. It almost looked like, it's kind of hard to tell because you can't see behind you, but man, Magnetti really had that there. That was a lot better than kind of the pace and print thing that we saw last week that benefited Sullivan for a second there. Or was it? Whatever, but the 250 class, it was a little bit of a messy move there, but man, that's just hyping this race up here. That's going to be a big shift in the points. That's going to be 5. So let's see if Lang can battle back, make it just back to 3. That Eaglin's going to get on him, but Lang not going to be able to make it happen up the hill. Let's see what happens down the hill as they come down Mount Martin.
Oh, this is going to be good again. Lang switches it up, goes to the inside. Magnetti charging to the outside. Holm is following Lang in. If they can get a nose in there, they might have a pass done. Oh, Lang is going to rip the inside and pull alongside to make the pass on Magnetti again. So Lang back into second place and now going to try to run down. Wait a minute. Where is Colby Eagland? Colby Eagland's behind these guys. We've lost the race leader. That was a change for the lead as Lang now takes over. Magnetti back to second and Holm third as they're still nose to tail.
This is huge for this is going to be huge for T Lang as he's going to gain some points. And that's going to stop up Holm. Holm's not going to go off the bike or is Magnetti, but Eagland actually
on each other.
Might get some help.
Yeah, Eagland is going to close up. But where? Oh, Leclerc. I thought Leclerc might be catching this battle.
That's Hubbard. Hubbard's a little loose, too. I'm surprised he's still crushing it with the track disrupts. Janice, so let's see
where is Leclerc?
Oh, man. Is that 5th to 10th or 5th to 9th at least?
He's lost several positions here in the last few sections. It seems like he's down to, what is this, 8th? He's battling with a few lapped riders, but he is indeed back to 8th. I thought he was going to be right on that battle. He's only 15 seconds down just a moment ago from the race leaders, and now is 37 seconds down. So like you said, probably a double fall-off crash right there. Eagland going to go to work on Magnetti, who just avoids disaster. Lang now leads. Holm second. Magnetti third, and Eagland back to 4th. We have seen so many position changes, so many lead changes among this lead group. Did we have another? No, it is still Lang out front.
I'm giving Holm the rock hard, ride hard award because he has just been there sitting watching all these crazy battles, but not involved in any of them really. Just a solid ride right there, and he's still ended up in second place as we see him tossing, always throwing down Magnetti behind him, coming up with Eagland hot on his tails. But man, Tyler Lang has been given a gift with the recent crashes from Leclerc as we move in just past 29 minutes surpassed in the moto. He's going to be gaining 5 points on his championship rival. Actually, no, he's going to be gaining
7 points
on
Colby
Eagland, and now even more as Leclerc had dropped back with that double fall-off crash. So, man, this is just really helping Lang out. Lang has got to be just super happy with the gift that he's been given, and Eagland has got to be trying to fight back here on Magnetti. He doesn't have that many more laps, but we are going to cross the finish line before the 30-second board, so we will have 3 laps left here. Looks like as our leader comes around, they're just going to beat that 30-minute timer.
It's going to be really close. That's going to be Eagland pass on Magnetti. Let's go back to your leader, Lang. See just how close it is. 15 seconds mark coming down to the flag. I think he's going to go through. I don't think he wants to toss his lead away. And as they crossed the flag, there was still about 6 seconds left on the clock. So, yes, 3 to go here at Millville for Tyler Lang out front. Adam Holm across the line into second. You got Eagland there in third. Hubbard 4th, and Magnetti now back to 5th after his little mistake there. Janice 6th, and Leclerc all the way down in 7th. So with Lang leading, Leclerc down in 7th, so 7th place would earn him 14 points, I believe. Yeah, so let's see. 5th would be 16, and then 6th would be 15. So, yeah, 14 points. So he's losing 11 points to Lang right now, and that is going to be down to a provisionally at least 5-point advantage for Leclerc in the championship heading into the second moto. We still have a couple more laps to go, and I think Leclerc would like to try to get some of these guys ahead of him just in case these guys crash here, so he's going to keep it as close as possible. Magnetti is really starting to run into a wall here.
Yeah, he literally he keeps catching that inside wall coming into that rut that's trying to set up that first sand section here. But these guys are using that little bit smoother line. I really like that line choice. Gets him a lot better drive. And is Hubbard, is that position now? Did he move up, or did Hubbard drop back so far?
Yeah, that's Hubbard for position. That is going to be 4th right there if Magnetti can get by. These two pushing the pace. And for Magnetti, I'm sure the frustration is going to come from the fact that he couldn't win this moto. But I feel like more frustration might come from the fact that he's been a guy all year that has charged his way into the top 5 and maybe even the top 3. And now he gets a start, runs up front the entire time, and drifts back to 5th. So just can't quite seem to find the magic recipe, Luke Magnetti there. But he's holding on to 5th right now, still trying to work on Hubbard ahead of him for 4th.
Yeah, like we said, just having that experience being up front, though, or battling with the guys in this championship is going to help him out to hold on to one of those race wins later on in the season, or even start in that 5th place position that he's normally at and try to claw his way back up because he knows the speed and the pace. But, man, just these guys are struggling with this really rough track as this super high-speed track starts to get a lot of chop and bumps. The corners will deceive them because they want to charge in so fast, but they do still let away at the top. It is still sand traction, and they do have huge braking bumps coming in, so this track coming up to bite a lot of these guys. Magnetti definitely on the short end of the stick here, dropping back all the way to 5th. Not what he wants, but he isn't too far off Hubbard still, so he can definitely fight back and try to get a 4th place here, salvage some points on these guys.
Yep, definitely going to try to keep Hubbard close ahead of him. There is Eaglin still in 3rd. There's Holm in 2nd. And your race leader remains to be Tyler Lang with the 2-lap board now displayed. And what was a great battle for a long time has slowly dissolved into a little bit of just kind of a gapped freight train right now. You got Holm 5-6 seconds down, and then another 5-6 seconds back to Eaglin, and then another 7 or so seconds back to Jacob Hubbard here. He's still got Magnetti right on him. That's probably our closest battle. Leclerc is up to
low
6th.
Wow.
Almost low-sided coming into the corner. And now has gotten around Matthias Janis. Tyson Craig still inside the top 10. Chase Blakely has moved into the top 10. And Jeremy Smith, I believe, is rounding out the top 10 currently. How about Braden Carter, though? Carter was outside of the top 30 the first time we saw him on the timing sheets, and has now worked his way onto potentially battling for a top 10 spot, and really actually isn't too far behind Leclerc, who was down there with him. So these two making a lot of progress forward. Carter going to try to get to the inside of Smith, but not quite able to get a nose in there just yet.
Yeah, Carter has salvaged so much, and he still has more than a lap and a half to go for himself here. So he's going to try to gain as many points as he can. He's definitely a race winner, championship winner in his past. Look at that jump into the rut. Man, if he didn't clip his pegs there, he would have blown by Jeremy. They're going to drag race down here. He's going to have the outside preferred line, and that's going to be the pass right there as long as he stays up. But no, he's dragged he dragged fork guard on that scrub there. I've never seen that happen.
Literally dragged helmet, pretty much.
Dragged helmet. Oh my God, and he's tossing it.
This is backwards.
Braden Carter,
big duel
out of Huntington Beach, California, straight sending it right here, as he's going to try to go back up and get some more points. This is a top 10 battle, as we see Jeremy Smith taking a really long way around that corner. Oh my God, he just scrubbed his head.
That was Tyson Craig getting a little sideways in front of him, and these guys, man, they're having quite the battle inside the top 10 here. This is for, I think, 8th now, or maybe 9th still, with Craig right here. You got Carter. You also have Jordan Foster, Dominic Tiberino in the background. Then you got Smith and Castaneda off the back of these guys a little bit. Great battle. Off the track at the bottom of the hill is Foster, Tiberino. Also making a couple mistakes. Hearing reports something happened to Lang. Lang still out front, cruising. Holmes 2nd, Eaglin 3rd, Hubbard 4th, Magnetti 5th. Leclerc is sneaking up on Hubbard, or on Magnetti, I should say, trying to get into that final top 5 position. 5 seconds down as the white flag waved. I think it's not going to play out in his favor, but you never know. That's why he's trying to keep it close.
Still insane that he's made his way all the way up to 6th, but the thing is, if you look, he's 40 seconds back right now. So, I mean, he did have a bad start and he did work his way up, but so many crashes with these guys that also had crashes and mistakes. 40 seconds up, Leclerc is going to have to get a good start and ride pretty much close to the same as he did this moto, if not better, to have a chance to compete with them next moto. But Leclerc can always turn around as he just railed that rut, Mach 10. Leclerc definitely trying to push here, gain as many points as possible. But Lang, man, he's so far out front. He probably thinks he has so much breathing room, but he's probably so scared after battling the whole race to get that breathing room. One mistake and he'll let Adam into the lead. But right now, the man that we're watching is Leclerc, as he's trying to come up and pass Magnetti here, who is just dropping back and going to be really disappointed if he gives this up here.
Yeah, a couple corners still to go for your race leader out front. Tyler Lang going to stamp another moto victory to his resume, and very well could have a shot at taking the championship lead before the day is done, with Leclerc finishing potentially 6th in this one. That is going to be a 10-point gain in the championship. Tyler Lang, in and out of the last corner, wins 450 Moto 1 here at Spring Creek.
Hashtag easy.
Holm going to get 2nd. Eagland will come through for 3rd. Hubbard 4th. And Leclerc did get Magnetti for 5th. Magnetti must have gone down because Janis is up to 6th. And Magnetti is down again in 7th.
Chase
Blakely, his teammate,
gonna make it.
is going to go by. Wow, Magnetti unfortunately really fell apart there at the end. And Blakely going to go by. Magnetti getting back on the track. Still just ahead Braden Carter and Jordan Foster inside the top 10. Teammates, atom.com teammates right here with Tyson Craig and Jordan Foster battling it out. Jeremy Smith just behind them, trying to get this P10 position. And who is going to get it among these cowies? Oh, mistake for Craig. Jeremy Smith tucked to front end. He's lost touch with this group.
Man, Tyson Craig, this guy's been just in a battle. Everyone in this class, I feel like, from 5th to 10th has just actually all the way up in the top 20, even further back, have just been battling nonstop this whole entire race. Tyson Craig's going to try to come in, be pumped on all the points that he scores. Foster's going to try to come across in 10th. Tyson Craig in 11th. See further back, Jeremy Smith, another cowie. Braden
Castellaneta.
And D. Davis breaks it chain. Good job, D.
Davis back here. Oh, contact with Tiberino. And is that Jet Wisdom for position? No, it's not. That's Brett Thomas down on the 221, though. Tiberino's trying to get the ship righted. He will cross the line 15th, it looks like. Jonathan Alexander down here in 16th. Bobby DeSalle 17th. 18th is Noah Bindis. Joseph Pilsner right behind him in 19th. And Austin Bear is 20th. And Jack Haley's trying to score a point. These two going side by side.
Oh, something's going down here. There's no way these two get out of it alive. Pilsner going to scrub over on him, try to clip his wheels, looking like Moose or Barshow looking back at Mooscan there.
Oh, and Bear made a mistake. Haley rips it and goes down. So Austin Bear in and out of the final corner, going to try to make a pass back. Oh, just missed out, but gets 20th. 2/10 down in the end. Jack Haley, Reed Young going to finish outside of the points. Caden Speck also did not score points this moto, and we're going to wait for cuts to come in to see what happens in the top 20 here. But wow, crazy battle.
I was losing it there at the end. Man, what a great race. This is, I say this every time we ever finish a stream or ever finish a moto, but it's just so good all the time. Like, these guys have give us such good entertainment and such good racing week in and week out. It's insane that they can do it this consistently and give us some excitement. T-Lane, can't believe he was able to come back, win that with a 6-second lead here. The cuts come in. Let's see what happened here.
Pilsner jumps Noah Bindis for 18th. Let's see what else happened. Tyson Craig leapfrogs Jordan Foster for 10th. Oh. And the rest stayed the same. T-Lane, Moto 1 winner. We got a bit of a gangbang going on down by the finish line here. We got Jeffrey Bruns. We got, who's the 178? Not sure. 31.
Oh, no, he's right in the middle of it.
31 of Jonathan Alexander there.
Alexander and
that's Aaron Rockefeller.
Rubbing shoulders.
Who is 178? Down in 32nd. Give him a little bit of props.
Probably someone on the Jack Daniels team.
Lawson Dye on the Stance team.
Yeah.
Skins I still don't have. Brady White.
No, you have some of them.
I do have some of their skins, yeah, but I don't know where the rest of the team.
That guy's he's just running. He's just trying to copy. Poser.
Yeah. All right. 250 Moto 2 will be coming up next. We'll get that up on the screen. And
it's hot.
Where do I have this up for? What is this?
You good?
Oh, no. Never mind. I'm blind. Okay.
Kellen's losing it. It's his first stream, guys. Take it easy on us.
He's gaffed it. Back in studio here, Kellen Brower alongside Andrew Wood. We've been calling the action here for hour and 57 minutes on the clock so far. Jeez. And getting ready for another hour and a half-ish of coverage. We got 2 more motos still to go. 250 Moto 1 will be coming up first. Then 250 Moto 2 will be coming up first. And then 450 Moto 2 to determine the overalls tonight. Of course, in this 250 class, what we're going to look for again is we're going to take a bit of a break here.
Drink break real quick.
Grab a beverage. But what we're looking for in this 250 class, Nathan Prince 17th in the first moto, only picking up 4 points towards the championship, so sitting 15 points down of Payson Johnson coming into this moto. Johnson's still not going to be racing this one, of course. He was suspended for an infraction that he did in the EU GP series last week in Italy. So he's not here with us tonight. Prin needs to finish inside of the top 5 to take over the championship lead all by himself. If he finishes 6th, they will be tied on points heading into the next round at Washougal. But Prin, we know he can run up front and can usually do some pretty special stuff, but the first moto was a disaster all the way around. Bad start, many crashes in the opening laps. Still, by the time he got back into the points, kept crashing again. At one point, we thought he might get up into the top 10, but still the crashes just kept coming, and he's going to need to clean that up here into the second moto.
I've got some ridiculous takes that I saw earlier from Payson Johnson saying that he was protested for something he didn't even do.
Oh, yeah. Just magically didn't cut the track and take down a bunch of the field in the second quarter.
I don't think you understand that the stupid decisions that you made in the RF race or in the NA motocross race went into the GP when you made a dumb decision to cut the whole entire corner and then wad it in first place and take out like the top 4 guys. So I mean, if you don't think you deserve the suspension, that made me so mad earlier. And I couldn't interrupt. I saw him like trying to defend himself, and I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah, you can't
but
do that.
So what I'm thinking is I'm more favored on Sullivan and Prin now to take this championship, because I think that he's just going to be making dumb decisions if he's not mature enough to own up to his mistakes. I think that definitely he hi baby.
We're on camera right now.
Yeah, it's okay. I think that he's just not going to have the maturity to finish this title and just keep it together when he thinks that he's not making those mistakes with the warnings that he has. I see him continuing to make dumb mistakes and maybe ride over aggressive and kind of hurt himself in this title. So I'm rooting for Sullivan and Prin right now. So those are my boys.
Right,
I don't know any of them. Never talked to any of them, but those are my boys now.
All right, so we got celebrities hanging out in chat right now.
I know.
Justin Starling here hanging out, having a good time. We'll have to get old J-Star to come hang out with us in the booth one time. Justin, if you're ever in Temecula for one of these races, let us know. Come in the studio. We'll have a good time. We'll call the racing together.
Yes,
I'm sure the fans would love to see you.
Fit you right here on my lap.
It's right here, perfectly in the middle. But yeah, getting ready for 250 Moto number 2 coming up. Good to see a lot of you guys in chat. Still very lively chat. Almost 200 live viewers watching the action tonight. Round 6 of the RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. We're going to see how Nathan Prin can do here in 250 Moto 2, trying to claw some points back against Payson Johnson. And see whether or not Rasmus Balzer can complete the Moto sweep. He was very good in Moto number 1, won the GP earlier this week, and now is trying to do it again here tonight at Millville. Here we go, back to our live screen, getting ready to check some things out.
Yeah, I think if we see Balzer off to a good start, he can definitely put this thing together. But he had some people close to him running his same pace. So if those guys get off to a little bit better start in this Moto here, as looks like we're going to be on board with Prin again. I'm taking Balzer for the whole shot. Looks like he's about 5 in from the doghouse.
Here we
that
go.
White bike.
250 Moto number 2 from Millville is underway. Who is going to get that all-important whole shot? Much better start for Prin.
Start, though.
And he rides the rear tire. This is going to be a great opportunity for him. Balzer side by side. Nathan Prin, Studio 8 whole shot award. That's exactly what he needed out of the 42. Seth Shirley on the 441 right there as well. Trent Adams on the 44. I see McIntosh on the 89 as everybody funnels in behind the fast Frenchman on the Phil's KTM.
Yeah, Prim with a great start there. As we saw, shifted probably into second or third gear there. As he makes a little mistake.
He's going to drop back to third, but fortunately didn't fall off the bike. That could have been detrimental. Yeah, Sullivan jumping through up to the inside, going to go around into third. Someone yard sailing into the corner there in the background as the field funnels by. But Seth Shirley has taken over the race lead on the atom.com, 441.
I mean, surely he's just going to try to get away and run away with this thing with that clean air, but he's got a group of guys right behind him that want to make sure that doesn't happen. Sullivan and Prin right there in third and fourth positions, but Shirley throwing some big whips. Normally he's either showing off or he's looking like he's going to try to check out with this one. So sometimes you just get a good start, man, and you just start feeling the flow, but the people that aren't normally used to being up front consistently, which I haven't seen him in the last couple of rounds up here, you can definitely either just it clicks and you go, or you can start making some mistakes. So hopefully he can hold on to this for a while, because he has some heavy hitters coming up right behind him. Yeah,
Trent Adams is right there on the 44, and then Luke Sullivan. Sullivan trying to close up as Nathan Prin looks like he made a mistake at the top of Mount Martin, and I think allowed Braden Tharp to go through. But there is Prin now closing up onto the back of Adams. And you can see just sprinting away just a tiny bit at the front of the field there is still Seth Shirley. He's trying to get away from this group. But actually, here comes Adams, his teammate. We got the atom.com teammates nearly side-by-side dualies on the table in the mid-rhythm. And Adams trying to steal this one away from his teammate before the first lap is done.
Yeah, they almost look like they have the same number, 444 and 441 right there. So these guys are just trying to charge. But Luke Sullivan sitting back there hunting. He's going to get a better drive right there. Going to move up. Actually, not as close as I thought he was going to be. Looked like something happened coming out of that corner, but these guys 1, 2, 3 so close right there. Just a couple tenths of a second between each of them, and these guys are trying to pull away as quick as possible. Balzer went down early, so we're going to have to see where he is. Braden Tharp up front again in 4th, but right now we're focused on this battle right here, 1, 2, 3, as we see Tharp coming around just a couple seconds back right there. Let's see how these guys fare when they enter the sand section.
Yeah, battle for the lead is hot and heavy. Here comes Trent Adams up the inside of Seth Shirley to take it over in those sand rollers. Here comes Sullivan in the background as well, trying to make that pass. Can't quite get a nose in just yet on Shirley, but that is a new leader here at Millville. Trent Adams on the 44 machine goes to the front. Now let's see if he can maybe sneak away from this little battle as Shirley tries to go defensive with Sullivan closing up from behind.
Yeah, Shirley definitely looks like he made that one little mistake, but he got right back into the groove of it, throwing big whips again. I love that loose style right there, but that can come to bite him later on in the motos when it gets a little bit rough. I don't even know where he finished in the first moto. It was way, way back, so not even inside the top 20, so he had to have had a really bad first moto there. But Trent Adams is definitely accustomed to being up front here, so Sullivan is going to have to try to make this move on Shirley and get past him as quick as possible so that he can hunt down Adams and try to get up there, because he's the one in this championship hunt. As I say that, we have Cooper Hunt coming around in 38th, so he is falling apart in this championship battle. We'll keep watching this battle here as Sullivan tries to make a move around the outside. Doesn't have it happen, but I'm looking through the names at the top trying to see where the rest of our championship battles are.
Yeah, Sullivan is definitely putting a nose in there here and there on the 441 of Seth Shirley. Have we lost Nathan Printers? He's still back there. He's lost Nathan Prynn. Wow, it is really bad for Prynn, who was right in the middle of this early battle. Balzer is ahead of him now. Prynn down at the bottom of Mount Martin. I think, that's Ethan Gerst that he was down with. So Nathan Prynn, who hole shot this moto and maybe would have had things all go his way this time through, implodes again and has so much work to do to get back up to the front and try to score enough points to take the championship lead back away from Payson Johnson. Meanwhile, we got Balzer down here. He is a little bit further down. Wow, Prynn 30th.
Yeah,
Balzer
he's so far back.
Unbelievable change of events in such a hurry as well. Can't believe that's happened.
No sign of Thomas Unis really up front. Luke Sullivan finished 5th last moto. He's right there in 2nd right now. If he stays where he's at, that's going to be such an easy overall for him, as Balzer, Wilcox, Matherly, and Thomas Unis, who finished 1st through 4th last moto, are nowhere even near the front. So these guys are just having a really bad second moto here, and Luke Sullivan is just capitalizing as best as possible. He needs to make this pass and just check out and ride his own race, because this is going to be huge for the championship for him.
Yeah, Sullivan is definitely the man taking the most advantage of this opportunity with Payson Johnson missing tonight. Sullivan entered at a deficit that was way too large for him to take over the championship lead, but he is definitely going to get it a lot closer than it was following this one, and he is closing up on Trent Adams to try to take the lead here in Moto 2, which would also give him the overall win with 5-1 scores. Everybody scattered. Contact at the top of the hill as Adams gets into the SpongeBob going through. That is now Seth Shirley taking over the lead again, as Sullivan settles into 2nd with Tharp right behind him.
Yeah, that's always been kind of a blind corner there, and it's been a struggle as we see someone cartwheeling. Was that Tharp?
That's Tharp,
he goes down again, and he imploded first moto as well. So hopefully he can get up and try to salvage this, not kind of fall apart like he did in the first moto after his great start there. But Luke Sullivan, man, he just got so unlucky. That SpongeBob comes after a blind corner there. It's behind the banner. It's used. People get mad about them, but they're off the track. They're used so you don't cut.
Yep.
It's just unlucky when the rider in front of you gets into it, and you end up getting tied up to that like Luke Sullivan did. Luckily, he did not go down. Tharp's going to lose a couple positions, but still in 6th here. Going to be battling with Seth Carr here, trying to make up some more positions to get himself back into the top 5.
And by the way, I see Bobby Wycliffe asking if I'm going to Washougal. Yes, I am. I will be at Washougal this year. I'll also be at Millville this weekend. So anybody going to Millville IRL this weekend or Washougal the weekend after that, let me know. Tweet me, DM me on Instagram, whatever you got to do. Always love meeting up with you guys, talking a little bit of moto, bench racing, whatever it is that you guys want to do. And happy to run into you guys wherever you're planning on going to the races.
Are you going to meet YZ at all? Or?
Yep, Nate's going to the races again this weekend.
Oh!
Our leader is down. Seth Shirley down in the sand rollers, and that's going to put Sullivan to the front. Trent Adams goes back by into 2nd. And coming through here, trying to move into third is going to be James Wilcox, but he will not get there in time. Shirley Remount still in third.
Yeah, Shirley was luckily able to get up pretty quick. Just looking at the top there, Nathan Prince still back in 33rd position. Neil Fitzpatrick 35 as they're coming across the top of the screen. You could watch this battle below, but see those names scrolling across. Cooper Hunt probably out of the race, still back there. But man, Sullivan, Trent Adams right here, throwing it down. Shirley though, man, he's killing it right now. James Wilcox, brother to Thomas. Cowboys, bless you. Oh, you used the button. That's awkward. So definitely trying to crush it here though. Balzer though up to 11th place. That's super good. He was way back outside the top 20th. Alex Kerr making the charge right there as well. And this battle is tightening up even more here at the front.
Oh, Seth Shirley trying to hop back into the road as Wilcox got a nose in there. Also want to give a quick shout out to MX for Life 894 with the $10 donation. Says, let's go Lang and Seth Shirley. He's pumped on his dude. Seth Shirley still running up towards the front here. And thank you so much for the donation there. As we get back to the action, Shirley dealing with that pressure from Wilcox. Seth Carr, Braden Tharp. All close together. This is a great battle just inside of the top 5 actually, as Shirley is still holding on to that 3 spot. So this is a 4-rider battle for third, and Shirley dealing with that pressure well so far.
Yeah, it's crazy that this battle
Magic Man,
is someone Magic Man here. Where are they going to pop in? Who knows?
Shirley is not back just yet. Going
Some
through
Jesse
there.
Mullins stuff
Vanderbeek,
going on over here.
Gatland, saw Balzer go through.
He should come back, though, and be back in the position that he was riding in, as long as this isn't a fatal thing that happens to him here as he disconnected. Hopefully he reconnects. Doesn't look like he's out of the race, but, man, lots of people coming by here as we're seeing just how kind of close these guys are.
I was kind of waiting to see how far back Prin was, but I didn't think Shirley would be stuck like this for this long. There goes Cade Matherly as well, just to give you an indication of where all these guys are.
Thanks, JSB.
Really, really bad
I love you.
time here for Seth Shirley. There's Thomas Sunis going through. There is Nathan Prin.
Wow.
He just went by. He is still way down the field, 31st. And, I mean, almost last of last. Seth Shirley is still here. He may have timed out of the server.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, just timed
right
out.
there.
Wow, that
Devin
is
Davis.
very unfortunate for Seth Shirley. But, yeah, Nathan Prin is the third of the last riders on the track right now. So, I mean, he is got almost nobody behind him. And
I don't know what's happening. He doesn't even look like he's trying.
No, you talk about imploding or whatever it is not good for Prin. I almost wonder.
You ever seen a dead body?
I almost wonder if, maybe in a situation like this, he thought that, it was a foregone conclusion he was going to take the championship lead, and he kind of let off the gas pedal a little bit, proverbially speaking, in terms of focus for this race, and it's just taking him completely out of the zone because he looks nothing like what we've seen Prin at all this year. And it wasn't like he qualified bad either. He did a pretty good job in qualifying like we've normally seen out of him. So this is completely befuddling, to say the least. We got a tight-knit battle coming up Mount Martin right now. Everybody really stacked together right here. Casey Cochran, Colton Hansen, Will Clark, Sean Klein, Johan Bordeaux, Frank Jackson to the outside going for a two-for pass, gets shoved off the track by Jack Gatlin. That's Lane Wofford up the inside. Will Clark goes through. You also have Cade Matherly coming into the mix as well. Somebody just lawn darted down the inside. I didn't see who it was, but it was somebody in some blue gear there.
These are still battles for like way back though, which is insane how close these guys are. And this is like, it can just be hell. If you start a moto, you have a little bit of a bad start and you're trying to charge back, you're hauling ass. So, and these guys are just so tight. You feel like you're making moves, you're battling, you're not falling. You should be so far up there, but then you realize you're just like in 20 seconds. So these guys are just trying to push as hard as they can, and they're getting into each other, throwing whips, Matherly tossing it back there, but Cole Hansen right here in this little sandwich trying to just survive. And then at the end of the moto, you're still way back. So these guys are definitely trying to break free. You got to get clear air early and try to separate yourself from this group, or else you're not going to go anywhere. So some of these guys trying to break through, as we see a teammate there.
Will Clark down.
And Will Clark goes down. I don't know. Is he on the same team as Stan? I don't know.
No, he's on the boots.
I
don't know what that is, but I don't think it is Stan's. Oh, Matherly just got clipped in the head by Blake O'Brien coming through, just clipped him in the head. This is a tight-knit battle right here. You got McLaughlin, Bordeaux, Gatland, Wofford. Here comes Bordeaux up the inside, carrying the French flag today because Nathan Print has been a shell of himself, but Johan Bordeaux makes it through on that 394 motorsport.com KTM, and I believe that puts him up to 7th or maybe 8th. Maxime Vanderbeek, the rider out of Belgium, trying to go up the inside here of the 89 of Rogan McIntosh, trying to get that pass done, and he will do so. Nicely done there. Look up the roads. Ryan Pinkerton, privateer effort on that 395, chasing down Rasmus Balzer. So actually, that was way further back than I thought it was. This is 8th right here. Balzer.
And another battle.
Yeah, Kerr with Sean Hambrook, the 13 of Logan Leitzel up the inside, nearly 4 wide coming down Mount Martin, and Balzer gets a little nudge from Hambrook, and Balzer goes 1,000 feet off the track.
JLV sits right there because catching everyone's front end when they go over that spot. Balzer, man, going to lose a couple more spots, and it's just these guys are fighting and fighting and fighting just to get back inside the top 10, then you're going to lose it that quickly. So he's definitely going to try to, after that first moto win, he wants to get back up there and try to battle for this overall. If he can get up to 5th, you know, and Sullivan can't take this home, he'll take it, you know, he'll take home the overall, but 4th place should secure that overall for him if he can get up to 4th place with a 1-4 compared to Sullivan's 5-1. But man, Balzer out here still looking comfortable, but just got to get past a couple of these guys and put in some clean laps, because that's what Sullivan's doing out front, able to extend his lead and just you know, stay safe out there and not have to really push it so that he can take a little bit more of a break when he does get into lappers on the rough track later on.
To the outside, trying to get around Pinkerton here. That's a rider down. That is Logan Leitzel on the 13. So that's going to be another spot for Balzer as he tries to work on getting around Pinkerton. You got Sean Hambrook just up the road, Alex Kerr, Seth Carr, James Wilcox, Trent Adams, and your race leader is still Luke Sullivan coming up to the halfway point of this race. So let's go ahead and get our top 20 rundown done and finished here before we get to that halfway point. And this one, again, is brought to you by R-Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. That's EATRJERKY.com and use the code SYS20. Please use that code SYS20 for 20% off your order. Get a discount. Get some good beef jerky and let them know that you guys are staunch supporters of the people that support this game. Still going strong here. What is this? 14 years into the game's existence and 11 years into RaceFactory gaming competitions. So we appreciate you guys still showing up and watching the races, but we would really appreciate it if you guys went over there and help the people that help us put on these broadcasts. Luke Sullivan on the number 18. Phil's KTM leads the race as he is trying to go 5-1 and win the overall here today at Spring Creek. Trent Adams on the atom.com number 44 sits in second, just behind him, about 5.5 to 6 seconds down. James Wilcox on the elevated motorsports number 74 machine getting a little wayward there in third. Fourth is Seth Carr, the 347 Underground RC Cowie. Fifth for Sean Hambrook on the District Designs number 99. Sixth is Rasmus Balzer on that number 250 motorsport.com KTM, I think that is. And then Alex Kerr right behind him on that Jack Daniels Racing number 84. Then comes Ryan Pinkerton on the 395 privateer effort. Got Johan Bordeaux, motorsport.com machine, the 394, still just up inside of the top 10. He's in 9th. And 10th, the Belgian Maxime Vanderbeek on the motorsport.com ride. Gets around his teammate, actually. Bordeaux going to go right back around the outside of him to hold on to 9th. 11th, Rogan McIntosh, mobgraphics.com, getting past. Logan Leitzel, the Phil's KTM 13 machine, goes up to 11th. McIntosh back to 12th. Sean Klein, 13th on the Evergood number 10. 14th, Noah McLaughlin on the Cyber Designs 124. 15th for Cade Matherly on the Stance 195. 16th for Colton Hansen on the mobgraphics.com. Number 821. 17th is Frank Jackson, Team Nami number 47. 18th for Jack Gadlin on the MXS Magazine GeoGuessr Yamaha 369. 19th for Lane Watford on the 181 Underground RC Cowie. And 20th is Braden Tharp on the Phil's number 415 KTM.
Yeah, Braden Tharp had two good starts here in both of these motos and just kind of not able to hold on to it. One thing I noticed was that Matherly and Prin were both back there outside the top 30 pretty much together. And Prin still hasn't been able to break the top 20, and Matherly was able to get up into about 17th or 18th, so that just shows you how much trouble Prin is having. And as I saw in chat, someone unplugged Shirley's camper.
Yeah, that's
a bummer.
Brutal.
Whoever did that, if you're a moto kid and you're at like a facility,
yeah, they're
you
at
suck.
club, I think. I'm pretty sure Seth Shirley's at club.
You're not cool.
But yeah, Seth Shirley unfortunately DNFing this one after such a great start and a scrub and
Of a
half out of
lifetime.
Colton Hansen. I don't know how he pulled that thing back together, but a nice job not to actually go down right there and keep the riders behind him at bay. Here is Prin. No!
just
Contact
too
with
aggressive.
Cochran. Yeah, he's just riding over his head, which is so weird because we haven't seen him really do that. I feel like all year he's been so good within his boundaries at pushing the limits but not going over them and going really fast on top of it.
It's got to be Johnson not being here, right? Like I feel like there's got to be some championship pressure that's gotten to him because
I think so, yeah.
He was able to battle with him and he would go back and forth and was the more consistent of the two really fast guys that were pushing the limit, and man, he's just falling apart. Not sure if it's just this track, if he's not vibing with it, but it seems to me just the way he's been attacking some of these corners and stuff, he's kind of just all around maybe losing it a little bit, but he's got to try to stop the bleeding here and do as much as he can, make some patient passes, because crashing into the back of people, scrubbing into people like that, getting super close is not going to help you gain up points when you're not even inside the top 20.
Yeah, and for Prin's sake, another thing that's going to come into play a little bit here is he's going to get around. I think that was Tharp that was down. Is takes Colton Hansen down too. But Prin, we saw he lost 12 points to Sullivan in the first moto. There's a 54-point gap between the two of them, and now it's just a 42-point gap. That's Cochran going down and Prin up to 17th, but. Yeah, Prin not gaining too many points.
Right,
yeah, like he's going to be gaining quite a bit of points. Is Luke Sullivan on Nathan Prin, and that is not really the ideal situation. I think that in the case of Prin, he wanted to get points taken away of Johnson, and for Sullivan's sake, he would like to go 1-1, obviously, but in his case, he wanted to close up and gain some championship points towards Johnson as well in the favor of the Phil's KTM team. But how about this storyline? Rasmus Balzer, your Moto 1 winner, has just been passed by Nathan Prin, which I believe slides him back to 17th right now. So Balzer really struggling here. Actually, 16th, I should say. And we were talking about whether he could get up into the top 4 and win the overall. Now he is well down the order. And I'll tell you what, Nathan Prin is suddenly finding a ton of passing opportunities. He's now up into 14th as he gets around Frank Jackson and immediately makes another mistake, pushing too hard again. He just cannot seem to stay off the ground this moto. Same corner he almost crashed in with Cochran moments ago, so goes from 14th down to 22nd, I believe it is, 23rd behind Fitzpatrick. I mean, I guess a positive thing for him is he still has so many riders right in front of him. It's crazy to look at the track map right now and see Sullivan, and I think second place is still pretty close to him, but then a gigantic gap back to third. And
oh my God, they are so far.
Yeah, if you're Prin, you're really not that far behind third, who's coming into the corner before the finish line jump right now.
But you have to not do what you're doing, so that means you're going to see some insane battles. We're at 20 minutes right now. That means we're going to see some insane battles to the end, and this is going to shake up more and more. So is it going to benefit Prin? Is he going to be able to move up as close as he can to the top 5? I mean, third, I feel like is achievable with 10 minutes plus 2 laps to go if he just gets it together here, because it's just the top 2 who are gone. Everyone else seems to be on pretty much the same pace. As you see, every single shot has 5 or 6 guys in it, and I definitely will see some more when we move over to the sand section and we get that wide zoomed out camera view. So let's see what Prin can do. He's kind of the big storyline here.
Yeah, let's actually go up to third real quick and see kind of where it's all at. So Seth Carr is in third. He is in the sand whoops right now. Then Logan Leitzel's in fourth. You got Alex Kerr right behind them in fifth. Sean Hambrook, he's running a strong sixth. James Wilcox in the sand in seventh. Cade Matherly is up to eighth. He's charging. Vanderbeek now ninth. Klein is 10th. Pinkerton is 11th, but about to maybe get passed by Bordeaux. Yeah, Bordeaux up the inside into 11th. Pinkerton 12th. McLaughlin 13th. Balzer 14th. Wofford in 15th. And then here comes Prin trying to get back into 15th. So that gives you an indication. I mean, that is not
they're still
an
so close.
Immeasurable amount there for Prin to try to get up somewhere pretty deep into the top 10 with how everybody still is right on top of each other, and he's crossing lines with Wofford there. It is getting a little dicey with those two, and Prin trying to make something happen here against the 181 Underground RC Cowie.
Yeah, this race has shuffled around so much, it's hard to tell who's come from the back, who's come from the front, who just kind of has stayed in this position the whole time and is just trying to race around all this madness. But, I mean, there's a couple people that we definitely seen charge up. We saw Matherly all the way up inside the top 10.
Yeah,
who was that?
Bordeaux just went down, so that is going to put Prin up into 15th now, I think. Yeah, 15th, but again, coming down Mount Martin right now is like 8th. So he still has plenty of opportunities. At the bottom of the hill right now, essentially, is 8th spot. If Prin wants it, it is pretty much in front of him for the taking. Going up the inside here of Wofford. So good late on the brakes there is Nathan Prin. He's going to go into that 14th spot. Next up would be Noah McLaughlin on the Cyber Designs 124. See if Prin can't make a quick pass on him as well and continue his march forward. Balzer just ahead of that is another marker that Prin, if he could latch on to, both those guys could maybe charge to the front.
Yeah, he almost looks better when he's riding around these guys as they're all throwing down dualies right there. And he looks like he's getting a little bit out of shape once he breaks past these guys and tries to run a faster pace to catch the next one. Him being in a battle almost seems to be helping him a little bit here when these guys are stacked up close as he makes another pass right there. So let's see. It looks like he's got about a 3-second gap to the next guy. Does he start to push it? We got some fast sections here where he can make some really big mistakes and go for a tumble. So as he sees the rider in front of him, he's definitely going to push it. Let's see what happens here as he comes down the little washboard section. Going to hit this very rough section into these braking bumps here. It looks like he might have tried to calm down just a little bit here, but I mean, there's still so much room for error with these guys trying to push the level, and Prin is trying to make up as much points as he can. He can't reach anyone but Seth Carr, who's up there 39 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, meanwhile,
him himself, he's probably about 50.
Seth Carr is going to deal with some pressure from Logan Leitzel for third before long, and update from Devin Davis in chat is that first, second, and fourth in the race right now are all in the same Discord, so it sounds like they're pretty pumped with each other. And here comes Logan Leitzel trying to get a drive up the hill to pass Seth Carr. This is a great effort for Seth Carr as well, trying to land on the podium in this moto. The overalls are going to be completely scattered. This is going to be really interesting to try to figure out. Leitzel charging down the inside here to the bottom of the hill. Oh my gosh, what a save. Just got completely sideways at the bottom of Mount Martin. And really good job to corral it back together. Still going to work, though, trying to get this pass done on Seth Carr. Outside, just pushing as hard as he possibly can, and just not quite able to get a nose in there just yet. But Carr doing a good job to hold on to the pressure. And for those coming from behind, because this battle for third is so far off second place right now, the good news is these two are battling each other, and they're probably slowing each other down a little bit, and it would be really good news for all of them if they got together and both went down. Speaking of which, it is still Trent Adams in second. He is way ahead of these guys, and Sullivan leading in the rollers, but you can see it's a 30-second gap between Adams and Carr. Carr's still dealing with that pressure from Leitzel. Yeah, really interested in kind of where, as we see Leitzel make a pass right there just up the inside. I feel like I haven't seen anyone make a pass there all night. Just was able to cut down a little bit faster and go through the rough stuff, actually take away the main line. Getting into there. Let's see if he can hold on. Leitzel looks like he's hauling right now, but I mean, these guys, they really don't have any chance of catching second. So Leitzel's main goal is probably just get away from Seth Carr and just get some clear air. But he's pushing right now. As you can tell, these guys are in a battle. You're 25 minutes down Seth
to a
Carr.
moto, and you're battling with the only guy anywhere near you on the track. It's got to be nerve-wracking right there. Palms are sweating.
Seth
you know
Carr
it's
gonna
hot.
get back by, and Leitzel just can't seem to shake the 347.
Look at him. Oh, as he jumps up the inside, they're going to come side by side and dualies. Oh my God, Logan.
Huge upside down whip for
savage.
Logan Leitzel to move back into third place. Seth Carr going to have to regroup and try to make another pass. Sean Hambrook still here in fifth. Got Alex Kerr sixth. Cade Matherly is up into seventh, and he has been quietly charging forward this entire moto. Remember, Matherly third in the first moto. He's trying to get on the podium overall today, but I see the big 42 back here in the background. He is into ninth, and he's trying to go to eighth on James Wilcox. Remember, if he gets to sixth, he is going to be tied with Johnson for the championship lead. Any higher than that, it is the red plates on that 42 next week at Washougal. Up the inside of Wilcox, trying to get a drive. Balzer down in the background. Prin trying to get a drive alongside Wilcox up the uphill. Might have it done as Wilcox a little short. Oh, no. He's going to get it to the outside. Wow, what a pass. Nathan Prin up into, what is this, eighth now I think he's up to. This is insane.
Yeah, this is kind of nuts here, but Prin's definitely saving himself right here. Super big shout out to Matherly. As we were talking about overalls, Prin was way further back from Matherly there in the first moto.
Went down, yeah. So Matherly back into ninth. That actually promoted Prin to seventh. So if he can catch Alex Kerr ahead of him, Prin would be tied for the championship lead.
2 red plates.
And we'd have 2 red plates at Washougal. We'll have to see how this all plays out in these closing 3 minutes and 2 laps here at Washougal. At Spring Creek. This is going to be very, very interesting to see what unfolds. Back to the lead group a little bit here, and you can see, again, the gaps are still spreading out. It seems like it's, almost 40 seconds now between Adams and Leitzel, then Seth Carr, Sean Hambrook still right there, Alex Kerr. I mean, Prin, maybe still just in like a couple more crashes, the guys ahead of him has a shot at third even, given the location of everybody on the track. You can see third is basically pretty much just the sand rollers ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a chance to get up in there. I've been trying to do the math here for overalls, not the exact points, but
Seth Carr
Seth Carr off the track. Luke Sullivan would definitely take first overall with a 5-1 here. Seth Carr's got some pressure from behind him, but we definitely would have Trent Adams with a 7-2. Looks like he's going to be second, 7-2 for second. And then I think Matherly would have his first career podium, unless I'm missing something, with like a 3-9. As long as he stays inside the top 10, I think he'll be good, because if you look at the rest of the names on that list, they are nowhere near it. Maybe
Hambrook just went
with
down.
9-9.
And Kerr is held up on him, and he is going to hop the rut.
For Prin.
Yeah, Prin is now getting to the scene. He is going to somehow stay on 2 wheels and pass both of them. Can he still get the uphill triple?
Is that into 5th?
Yes, he does. That is going to be Prin into 5th, and proverbially speaking, into the championship lead by 1 point, I think it is, there on Payson Johnson. Wow. So he has now got sole possession of the red plates. If it stays as it is, Alex Kerr is trying to fight back.
Man, Nathan Prin, that's crazy how much work he's done to salvage these points after that horrific second or first moto. But Kerr's not giving up right there,
yeah.
But runs into the hay bale there on the inside of the corner. But man, Prin is definitely going to be thanking himself for putting in a hero ride this second moto to get the red plates on that bike moving into next round. Man, it's just crazy how you can go from being so bad first moto, looking like Eli Tomac out there, just trash first moto, and then coming back and salvaging so much here. So it's just crazy that he's able to do this. I feel like with only a 40-minute break, between races, that he was able to change it up so much, especially after a horrific start. I thought we were just going to see more of the same of what we saw in the first moto. And
interesting to note as well that in this current situation, Sullivan would gain another 9 points on Prin in this moto. Prin off the side of the track, going to have to try to regroup ahead of Kerr still, and he's just going to do so. But on the topic of Sullivan there, another 9 points gained toward Prin as Kerr goes down in the background. And that is going to be just now down to a 33-point deficit, I believe it is, to Prin in the championship. But obviously he would only be 32 down of Johnson. So suddenly Sullivan kind of still lurking there in the shadows of this championship, as Prin and Johnson going to be set to do battle into the second half of this season.
Yeah, as we're back with Seth Carr here, watching Logan Leitzel, Luke Sullivan all the way back up at the front. He's just cruising right now. This is exactly what he needed and what he wanted coming in. Everyone else to have problems. When you have Johnson out, you don't even have to worry about one of the other front runners. All you have to do is worry about beating Prin. He's going to do that both motos here today and make up as many points as possible, putting himself in the lead here in the second moto. It just looks like he's cruising around the track, not pushing anywhere really, and as he jumps off the track, I say that. But he's given himself the ability to do this by just going out and shredding the first half of the moto, getting such a huge gap, everyone else making mistakes, and he's just here sitting comfortable, trying to bring this thing in and get himself back in the championship fight. He was way out of it. I felt like he had a chance, but man, this is going to put him way in right before the halfway mark. Is going to be really helpful here.
Yeah, the second half of the championship is definitely going to be very interesting to see how it kind of all shakes down in the coming rounds. Washougal will be next week. Then we have 2 weeks off before we're back racing again. So this is kind of going to be a momentum setter as well for these guys heading into Washougal next week and trying to continue to claw the points away from Payson Johnson. Got to keep an eye still on Nathan Prin, though. He is sneaking up to Seth Carr, and that would be for 4th. This is going to be a good recovery ride here in this moto for Nathan Prin. So interesting as well to see how much of the lead gaps are separated. You can see green dot, the race leader. He has got A couple corners on second place, who's just going up the step up after the catapult. Third place is in the U-turn and the sand whoops, and then fourth and fifth battling with each other heading into the sand whoops. And the rest of the pack is still pretty close together, as Prin is now closed right up here on Seth Carr.
Yeah, he got a great drive here. Didn't even double into that thing, but look, as he rails that route here, he's just going to come right there on the inside and get the preferred line into the section just like that. One good drive through both sand sections. They're going to move Prin up into fourth place, and just like that, he is salvaging so many points, and not only salvaging points against Sullivan as he throws an accidental scrub there and saves it. Going to shake his head off, rest his hands there for a second. But this is actually just helping him gain more points on Johnson when he comes back to it. He's not even worried about Sullivan right now. All he's doing is stacking points against Payson when he comes back for next week. So Nathan Prin right here making the most of it after a bad first moto. Getting a little bit sketchy still, but I mean, the nerves have got to be high. He's got to hold on to this fourth place spot. I'm not sure how far third is, but damn, maybe. That's not that far.
Yeah, Leitzel at the bottom of Mount Martin.
One big mistake, and Leitzel's done, I think.
Yeah, Prin at the top of Mount Martin coming down behind him, still charging, and Leitzel just made a couple mistakes. Meanwhile, out front, white flag is waving. Luke Sullivan on his way to winning the overall here at the Spring Creek National. Trent Adams might very well be on the podium as well with 7-2 scores. Logan Leitzel sitting here in third, but Leitzel was well down the order in the first one, if I remember correctly, so he is a non-factor. Meanwhile, Nathan Prin, 17th in the first moto, trying to get up and finish third in this one. If he does finish third, he will enter Washougal next week with a 5-point lead in the championship over Payson Johnson when the number one machine returns to action in the Pacific Northwest. So he is going to try everything on this last lap, throw literally everything in the kitchen sink at Logan Leitzel to try to get this pass done and maybe get those points towards his championship lead.
Yeah, only 4 seconds to go to the next position there, but he does have something to lose if he goes down. He's got one more spot. I mean, he can gain 2 more points by making a pass, but is it worth it if you try to push it to go down and lose the extra one? So I think he wants every single point that he can get against Payson.
Oh, Leitzel down. Give up. Leitzel was down, and that is going to put Prin up into third just like that. And Carr also going to go by as well. Leitzel rejoining in fifth, so that is a break for Nathan Prin. As long as he can hold on to this position, he is not going to catch Trent Adams, no question about it. And he's definitely not going to catch Luke Sullivan.
Not at all. No one's catching Luke Sullivan.
Sullivan out front on cruise control with just a few turns left to go. A 5-1 performance and arguably the biggest win of his career when he maybe needed it most in this championship hunt. Going to pull back to within, I think, 37 points now off of championship leader Nathan Prin, but he'll only be 32 back of Payson Johnson, and suddenly in discussion for this championship moving into the second half. Here it is, final corner. Luke Sullivan goes 5-1 to win the Spring Creek National in MX Simulator.
What a great ride by Luke Sullivan, and look, we have so much room back to Trent Adams. That's how much of a demanding lead he had, and Trent Adams has a huge gap all the way back. Remember, he was in that battle with Shirley before, and Nathan Prin, is that all the way up to third right there?
Yeah, for Prin ahead of Carr. Leitzel.
I don't know what happened to Carr, but man, Carr threw it away really big at the end. Leitzel too coming in, trying to just hold on to fifth place as he's going to go down.
He goes down.
He should. Ooh, Alex Kerr, maybe a little bit too far away to get there, but we've got guys coming across in second. Trent Adams came across in second. Third place should be easy for Prin to come across. Logan Leitzel goes down again.
So Kerr goes by. Boy. Here comes Vanderbeek. Suddenly he is going to have Leitzel high center
Leitzel
on a rut.
Crying right now.
And Leitzel getting going again. Man, just 2 late crashes right there really killed him. So Trent Adams across in second. There it is. Nathan Prin in third. Takes over the championship lead, leaving this round. Leitzel down again is going to allow more riders through. I think that was Wilcox and Bordeaux battling to the flag here. Fourth place, Seth Carr. He crosses the line as well. Is that someone else getting turned around on the track, or is my eyes deceiving me? I think they are deceiving me.
What?
Here is Bordeaux up the inside of Wilcox, and wow, Bordeaux goes down. So fifth, Alex Kerr. Sixth, Maxime Vanderbeek. Seventh is going to be James Wilcox. Bordeaux, a double fall off. Here comes Sean Klein into the mix. Cade Matherly as well. You got Sean Hambrook coming down. He is going to finish in 8th. 9th will go to Sean Klein. Cade Matherly goes 3:10 on the day. I think he'll just miss the podium because of that. Johan Bordeaux 11th, Lane Wofford 12th, Trevin Thompson here in 13th. Balzer down in 14th is going to lose 2 or 3 more spots and come across instead in 17th. Moto 1 winner. Talk about throwing for skins. You got Thomas Wilcox here in 14th. 15th for Alec Horn, 16th McLaughlin, Balzer 17th, Pinkerton 18th, Frank Jackson 19th, and Rogan McIntosh 20th. These overalls are going to be insane. And also hearing Logan Leitzel just rage quit. Yes, he did.
Oh
wow,
my God,
so Leitzel
bro.
goes
You were inside the top 10.
Inside of the top 5 with a couple corners to go, and then rage quits.
3 fall-offs. Oh, man. That's rough
cuts
up
are
there
in
Canada.
Looks like McIntosh got around Jackson for 19th.
I think.
Alec Horn got Wilcox for 14th, I should say.
I didn't see Thomas Wilcox once that whole entire race.
Either, yeah.
It was just James' show. But, man, I think Matherly with the 310 still might have the podium. Who else?
I know. But
Who else?
So you have Sullivan 5-1. He's definitely the winner.
He's good.
You got Trent Adams 7-2. Should
easy.
get second. You got Prin going 17-3. You've got Seth Carr just went...
He's going to get
no
more
points in the first moto, then 4th in the second one. Alex Kerr just went
horrible.
No points in the first moto, 5th in the second moto. And then James Wilcox.
Has a 10.
Maxime Vanderbeek.
5?
What was Vanderbeek?
James Wilcox got to be the second closest one. Rogan McIntosh 14, trash. Cochran the same.
Yeah, James Wilcox just went 10.
I swear on my life, that's a 310. Podium.
I think
Cade Matherly
is on the podium
Temecula
overall.
Local. Look at that. Oh my God. 5-1. I got a 1-3 and I was freaking out. A 7-2 second, a 3-10 third.
5-1 overall gets it done. 7-2 for second. 3-10. Cade Matherly just got his first career podium with a 3-10.
What a savage.
There were times in this game I went like 3-4 for 5th. And he just went 3-10 for 3rd.
That's ridiculous. I've been looking at them all race, and I'm like, wait a second. I see about 2 of the names in points inside the top with points this moto. So that's ridiculous.
Insane. And Balzer, talk about Balzer probably throwing it away right there. I think he came into the last turn in 13th, which might have been a podium as well. 113 versus a 310.
Yeah, that would have been 5 more. So, yeah, that would have beat it for sure.
Yeah, and then
Balzer, come on.
And finishes 17th. What a weird moto that just was. But at least we now know that Payson Johnson does not have the red plate any longer in this 250 class heading into Washougal next week. And that is going to be an interesting race to call as well when it comes to the championship scenario, with suddenly Prin taking it over and Johnson trying to take it back away. And now we still have this 450 class to go, which was also crazy in the first moto as well, with Lang coming through for a win, Leclerc kind of throwing it away a little bit on occasion and trying to come back through the field, and a lot of things up in the air now coming into this 450 class.
I don't think anything can top what we just saw, though, so I think that's completely out of the question, but... the 450 class, they're a little bit more consistent, but think of how tight the racing was compared to it before. We saw Leclerc able to make so much time up, get so far up last moto, just by cruising around late. And, man, Luke Sullivan, congrats. I called you as my boy before the race. I don't even know you, but congrats. In chat. Finally came in tight. First dub.
You're my boy, Blue.
Man, that's just... that was crazy. So
yeah, Sullivan, he did get a Grand Prix win earlier this year. Won the opening round of the Grand Prix scene at Valkenswaard. But yes, I think that this one is a lot more meaningful for him to get it done here in the North America Pro Motocross scene for the RaceFactory Gaming competition. And congrats to him on his 5-1 performance for his first career overall. Great stuff for Luke Sullivan here.
Yeah, you should have won Southwick, though. That's way cooler. Way cooler.
You're just so biased.
All-time greats.
Yeah.
I do like sand tracks, though, so I do like Millville a lot.
Yeah, Millville's good, too.
Man, I don't even... We got to get this together, but for 450s. But Langholm, Eaglin, these guys, they were crazy last race, so I feel like we're just going to see the same thing. It feels so much closer these last couple or on this race than it was at Redbud. Just everyone is so close. Everyone's going so fast. Even with making mistakes, they're still able to kind of find their way in and out of the points, so... I don't even know who to call. I will call a whole shot, though. Hopefully Hopefully we'll get someone in here for a whole shot bet.
I don't think anybody's in it, but yeah, with Lang gaining 9 points on Leclerc in the first moto, so now it's down to it was 16, now down to 7-point lead in the championship for Leclerc. Colby Eagland also gaining 4 points on Leclerc. He entered 35 down, he's 31 down now, so things are tightening up a little bit more throughout the top three, but obviously Lang the big jumper there. Anybody for a whole shot pick, Haywood?
I'm going Janice.
Going Janice.
No.
All right, not going Janice. All right, going Janice.
Magnetti. He's had such great starts the last couple races. He's the one I was going for. You know, those Yamahas, they got some power. So, I mean, he just had a better start in the first moto last time too. I mean, there's so many people though. Leclerc could just destroy it. Really, I should wait to see where they picked compared to the doghouse, because I feel like that changes a lot. But it's kind of up for anyone. But Magnetti's going there. Let's see what we got.
Getting ready to go. 450 Moto 2 coming up. Heckman.
That's our money. Yeah.
That's your money guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he usually donates, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Heckman's here, unfortunately. Brandon Larson's here, though, your buddy. Try to get this moto timer up. There we go. And let's see, who are we going to take a look at on this start? You think it is going to be Matthias Janis? Let's take a look at Colby Eagland, though. Here we go. 450 Moto 2 ready to go here at Millville. Actually, pretty good jump for Eagland. It's going to be Leclerc leading him in, and Leclerc leads him out. Big crash for the rest of the field, but it's Leclerc's Studio 8 whole shot award, and getting kicked around in the background. Several riders getting tossed to the ground. Leclerc leads. Janice second. You were very close, but he's going to come across second.
I did pull off of him, but damn, that was close. I mean, Leclerc's just a boring pick, but man, laying right up front again.
Third.
So we're going to have to see what can happen here. Lang, Eagland, and Leclerc right there. 3 of our top 5 last moto already up front. Let's see what's going to happen here as they approach. Remember, this is a fresh track. Last time they saw it, it was all beat up. So some of these guys might be pushing too hard if they haven't ridden around the practice a little bit between the races.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be interesting, because this is the first time we've really seen our top 3 in the championship start 1, 2, 3 like this. And we've talked about Leclerc not being fastest qualifier here tonight. Is this potentially a situation where Eagland and Lang kind of demoralize Leclerc a little bit, and they can catch and pass the defending champion and run away with a win? This is going to be really fun to watch what Eagland can do. See whether or not Lang can go 1-1 today. Currently in this situation, obviously Lang's still looking at the overall though with a 1-3, but this is a long 30-minute plus 2-lap moto here at Millville.
Yeah, we're a minute in, and I was going to say something, but like Leclerc, he loves to be up front, so I feel like he's going to just pull away from these guys. I think if Leclerc goes a couple more laps by himself without Eagland or Lang trying to make a push for him, I think they're going to be in big trouble, because I think Leclerc makes so many mistakes trying to push through the pack there. He was still able to do it to get all the way up to 5th last race. Yeah, he was 40, 50 seconds down by the time he got there, but right now he has to deal with none of that for the first at least half the race before they hit lappers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Leclerc start dropping them, as it looks like he kind of is starting to. Probably gain a second this lap alone, and you got Eagland and Lang kind of still sitting there yo-yoing. So if Leclerc can keep it up for a couple laps here, I think this might be Leclerc's to just check out and go 5-1, but I doubt that's going to get it done for the overall like it does in the 250 class.
Well, we'll see how it boils down. Leclerc leads lap number 1, Eagland in second, and Lang has lost third to Devin Davis. He's still right there, though, is Lang, right there in the background, coming through as well. You got Janice, Foster, Alexander, Kunitz, Smith, Hubbard, Bobby DeSalle, Austin Bear, Luke Magnetti, Jack Haley, Tiberino, Speck, Parks, Gress, Rockefeller, Pilsner, Jeremy Smith, Tyson Craig, Lawson Dye, got Daniel Mills, Jet Wisdom, Gebhardt, Brady White, Jeffrey Bruns. There is Adam Holm, who we heard was down in the first corner, second in Moto number 1, way down the field here in Moto 2.
So we got to see if Holm can do the same thing that Leclerc did first moto, get back up inside the top 5. He's a little bit more out of the points chase than the guys in your top 3 right now, but he would still like to get up there, have some good results as Eagland moves to the lead.
Yeah, where is Leclerc? Lang through Davis, Janice, Foster, then Leclerc. So Leclerc must have gone down, either coming in or out of the sand rollers there, and now falls back to 6th. He's going to be right behind Jordan Foster, but this is another situation where Leclerc has to do the chasing again, and we'll see how good he is in these early packs to try to dice his way back to the front.
Yeah, Leclerc made a big mistake as earlier than I thought he would be safe to do. He wasn't able to pull the lead out, and you see him shuffled back so quickly already, get passed by so many fast guys. He's now got to go back on the hunt and try to get back up. Like we said, this is a close championship battle, and with Eaglin and Lang having great first motos, all that happened to this 450 title chase was that it tightened up. So Leclerc's really got to try to get back up there and try to pull away for the lead.
Down the inside of Jordan Foster, he goes back into that 5 spot. Now ahead of him is Matthias Janis, and he is going to try to reel in the 130 Underground RC Kawasaki. Also there in the background, looks like that is Billy Kunitz making a pass on Jordan Foster as well. Dylan Smith, Jacob Hubbard, Jonathan Alexander, also right in tow. And Magnetti just off of the back of them on the 30s. So this is still a pretty tight-knit group. And for Leclerc's sake, I think the worst-case scenario would be another fall-off crash. So got to be very careful with the passes that he makes, that he doesn't hit the ground again and lose several more positions to have to come back from outside of the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, the guys up front like Eaglin can definitely drop a heater on him right now. But I think what's going to be more beneficial is Leclerc just staying up in general, making passes where he can. He's not going to force the issue right there. He's just going to stay safe. Take the passes as they come. You see a bobble right there, and he's going to make the pass. Hopefully, if he can stay. He's on the outside here, though, so not going to get the drive. Let's see what happens. That moves to the inside, so he is going to make the pass there. Actually gets a 2 for
3 wide
in the back. NASCAR.
Leclerc up the inside of Davis, swaps it, he's down, he takes Davis with him.
Later,
Davis
so
got
mad.
literally trampolined in the middle of the track right there and just kind of floated sideways into landing. But Leclerc does lose all those positions, as we had mentioned. Now he falls back down behind Magnetti, and he's back to 10th. So that was really not an error other than Leclerc's own mistake. Just kind of got kicked sideways and went down. He had the passes made and made a little unforced mistake by himself.
Yeah, they're used to having so much better drive through those rollers, and he just didn't get the drive coming into it. Ended up getting a little weird kick from Case in one of those, and down he goes. Wasn't able to save it. Leclerc, though, back to 10th right now early on. He's doing the same exact thing that he had to do in the first moto. Yeah, he might be able to come back to 5th, maybe even higher, 4th, 3rd, whatever, this moto. But he's not doing himself any favors. He's got that red plate, and he needs to keep a hold on to the championship lead. And he's got a lot of guys in front of him. Magnetti, though, is going to try to work his way to the front. Maybe he can latch on. But Magnetti's got this huge group right in front of him as they come down the hill. Going to use this outside line here. Let's see. We got
Jonathan
5 guys in one corner.
That's Jordan Foster off the track. Leclerc going to go up back into 9th. Magnetti working on Alexander. You got Dylan Smith also right in the mix right there. In contact. Magnetti got into the side of Alexander. That's going to promote Leclerc back into 7th. Dylan Smith 6th. Hubbard 5th. Kunitz now up into 4th. Janis runs 3rd. Lang 2nd. Battle for the lead here at Millville. Colby Eaglin leads. Tyler Lang wants it back, and he would love to go 1-1 here today and claw those points away. Remember, it is just a 7-point difference between he and Leclerc entering this moto, so if he could take the lead right here, that would provisionally put him in the championship lead.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Lang is just pressuring him right now. Colby Eaglin makes another mistake. He's going to move around the inside, and just like that, back into the lead and championship lead right there. Leclerc is so far back right now. These guys are just in a league of their own today. It looks like they're just smoother altogether. Yeah, they're making small mistakes, but Lang is able to get up there and just pull it away. Look at the speed through, but Colby Eaglin's not done. He's going to try to rail that rut and stick as close as he can because he's going to fight back, all the way till the end if he can.
Yeah, so Lang takes over the race lead here on lap number 4. We still have 23 minutes and 2 laps left to go in this race, and there is plenty of time for things to shake up. But Lang, as we saw him in the first moto, once he got the lead, he was pretty good at holding a gap steady there and just has to try to manage that from the lead if he can. Eaglin will obviously want to be fighting back, trying to take that away from him as well. And then Janis is still lurking there in the background. You got Hubbard 4th. Smith up to 5th, I should say, and Leclerc now right behind him in 6th. But man, Leclerc again, like we talked about, could not afford a fall-off crash right now. There are so many riders still hot on his heels.
Yeah, I mean, it took him probably about 5 minutes to get back to where he was from the first fall-off crash. If he does it again, he's going to keep running out. He's going to run out of time eventually if he keeps doing the same mistake. He's going to try to make a pass on Dylan Smith right here, getting a better drive. I bet you he gets it done on the inside here, and then down the hill, he's going to have way more speed than him.
Yeah,
just a little bit better there.
One here of Billy Kunitz. Oh, takes Dylan Smith down, and Dylan Smith going to cartwheel slowly to the bottom of the hill. Oh, he's in a bad spot right there. He's over that blind crest. Hopefully nobody comes over and doesn't see him. He is going to get going just as Austin Bear goes by. Ethan Parks also went through. Jeremy Smith, Luke Magnetti, Devin Davis, Jonathan Alexander, Jordan Foster, Billy Kunitz, and then Leclerc. So Leclerc is now up to 5th, I believe. Yes, 2:12.6 last time
so that's
by.
his best lap.
Yeah.
And the leaders are running...
They're running
203s, 204s.
Yeah. 203.2 out of
Holy
Hubbard.
shoot.
What is going on with Jacob
Hubbard
Hubbard
was
today?
one of the fastest people in the first moto. He just couldn't keep it together. He's always throwing big whips, got that loose style. Reminds me a lot of me when I try to ride, but about 8 seconds faster a lap. So he just gets scary when the track gets rough. Just look at him. He's just hopping around, but he's going to throw down, scrub. Like, he's moving around so much more than everyone else. But as the track breaks down, it worries me. But, man, he is just hauling. The last 2 weeks, he's got that same style, just so fast but so loose, and it can come up and bite him. But, man, he's putting it together right now. See, catching his bars there, leaning over a little bit too much. But, I mean, he's holding on to this position right here, able to hold on to third. Matthias Janis, though, giving chase, trying not to let him get too far ahead. And Janis not letting the leaders get too far away. They're only about 8 seconds back from the lead at the moment.
Yeah, they are still definitely within striking distance of the situation out front with Lang leading. Eaglin's still just a couple seconds off of him. This is Hubbard now up into 3rd. Janis 4th. Leclerc now 5th. You got Billy Kunitz 6th. Jordan Foster 7th. 8th is Jonathan Alexander 9th. Magnetti 10th. Devin Davis, nice little whip right there. Devin Davis having a good time out here. Ethan Parks coming through here in 11th. Austin Bear in 12th. Jeremy Smith 13th. Side-by-side dualies with Dylan
my
Smith.
God, is that D-Mill Pilsner? Pilsner.
Didn't see. Yeah.
Tossed it.
Tyson
The
Craig
all white.
trying to get back to the
Lead, or
to the
catapult.
catapult. Brady White down. Chase
Baby.
Blakely, you got anything for us? Not really. Braden Castaneda? Yeah.
That looked like a double whip waiting to happen.
Young, Jack Haley, Jet Wisdom, Jeffrey Bruns, nice kick out. Everybody just having some fun here on the catapult. Also, another awful start for Braden Carter, and we saw him in the first moto. He was able to charge forward and get 9th, but currently 34th. So Carter, again, 2nd moto in a row, he's going right into that group. How did he not go down? I have no idea. Just absolutely plowed
Just holding on to 32nd place.
Young.
Strong.
Yeah, Carter is definitely struggling with his starts lately outdoors. I talked about it on Monday, actually, for the GP stream. Carter kind of reminding me a bit of Cooper Webb's situation right now, and I know the Red Bull KTM looks similar with Carter, but Carter's so good indoors and just has not carried the same intensity, speed, good starts, whatever you want to call it, outdoors that we saw from him on the Supercross circuit.
It's weird because he's had it before, especially in the 250 class, so to see Carter just lose it so much. I mean, the only thing about this game is you never know when someone's, got stuff going on in real life, got a job, got busy, whatever happens to where they don't have as much time, or maybe they're just burning out a little bit. So you can see someone be so great and then just a little bit of time off will drop them. As someone just did an underflip off of a scrub and almost rode it out. We caught that on the corner of the camera. Of course, it's a JDR rider.
Oh, another rider down. That is Pilsner, I think.
Yes.
If I could ever select him. There he is.
Man, so a lot of just stuff going on all over the place.
Hey, Chase B with the hotline. Chase B with the Michael Alessi Daytona hotline right there. Oh, and then absolutely
missing the whoop.
wrecks
Murdered.
Bobby to sell. So there's some feistiness going on throughout the field. It doesn't just happen out front, ladies and gentlefish. There is some crazy stuff going on.
Oh, no, I feel like there's way more stuff happens because no one cares. Like 15th to 35th is the worst place to be because you're just either trying to get points and you're like, I got into 19th. I'm so sick. You fall and then you get up and some dude just murders you for 33rd and you're like, what the hell, dude? We're trying to work our way up together. Well, I mean, no one's watching, so, I mean, it's kind of a free-for-all back there. It's like everyone out there is Justin Barsha.
Oh, Devin Davis just came in together with a SpongeBob again on the inside. That one is hitting a couple people here tonight. Adam Holm is trying to run down Ethan Parks. Austin Bear has Jeremy Smith right in front of him. Billy Kunitz, Alexander, Foster, Magnetti, Hubbard, and Leclerc. Leclerc on the back of Janis, and I believe this is for 4th. Somebody just absolutely tossed filth and went down. That was Hubbard.
Of course it's Hubbard.
Yeah, so this is actually 4th, excuse me, that Leclerc has gotten up to.
So now he's up on Janice,
yeah.
trying to make a move. But, man, so that's a big save from Leclerc, who had dropped back so much early. He was back to 10th place. Now he looks like he's going to make quick work of Janice. He just has so much more pace. The only thing is Janice is 15 seconds out the lead. So is he, and the Colby Eagland is up there 4.8 seconds back off the leader. So he's got to make this pass and get to work, but we're not even at the halfway mark. So it wouldn't be crazy to say that Leclerc could win this moto.
Yeah, and also this is a bit of a championship situation for Leclerc. If he passes Janice, that breaks the tie that he is currently in with Lang for the championship lead as it currently runs on track. Lang was entering this moto 7 points down in the championship, currently gaining 7 points on Leclerc in this moto. So if Leclerc can get around Janice, he would gain another 2 points towards his tally, and Lang would only be gaining 5 points on Leclerc. Thus, Leclerc would retain the red plate solely instead of having a tie, which it currently sits on right now. Leclerc going to try to get a good drive up Mount Martin here and scrub it down. Get on that rear tire, get it planted, and try to go up the inside here at the top of the hill on Janice. Janice tries to shut the door, but has to jump to the outside, and Leclerc, easily done in the end, moves up into 3rd.
He probably could have shut the door right there a little bit more. It looked like he tried to close it off, and then he just kind of jumped out of the way a little bit, thinking that Leclerc probably wasn't going to slow down, take them both down. So kind of concedes that spot there. Leclerc into a solo 3rd. So now all he's got to do is set his sights on Eagland. Eagland's losing touch with Lang a little bit, but Leclerc is still 15.8 seconds, so he hasn't actually lost any. Let's see if with the clear air here that he can mount a charge and try to get up into that 2nd place and battle with his championship rivals. We are now back to the 1-2-3 in this moto, being the 1-2-3 in the championship. Your red plate holder, though, rounding out 3rd, so he's the one with the most. He needs the most points here to try to hold on to that red plate and solidify his point or his place in this championship.
Yeah, lap time check 2:04.3 for Leclerc last time by, but like you said, now in clean air. Might be interesting to see next time through what the lap times are. Eagland 2:05.9 in 2nd, 2:03.8 laying out front, 2:02.9. His best lap of the race is also the fastest lap of the race, and he's still dropping it into the 2:03s here. So let's see if he can continue this trend here down into the halfway point of the moto. Let's actually quickly get a top 20 rundown in real quick. Brought to you by RJerky. EatRJerky.com. Use that code SYS20 for 20% off your order, and they bring you the final top 20 rundown of the night. Tyler Lang, Underground RC, number 14, leads here in the 2nd moto at Millville. Colby Eagland, the Covenant, number 24, sits in 2nd. Alexis Leclerc, defending champion number 1 on the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing machine, in 3rd. Matthias Janis, Underground RC 130, sitting in 4th. 5th, Luke Magnetti on the BPC Yamaha number 30. 6th, Billy Kunitz on the Elevated Motorsports 51. And Jacob Hubbard runs 7th on his Phil's KTM number 11. 8th is Jordan Foster on his atom.com number 581, but he yard sales in the Sand Rollers. And moving up to 8th is number 4 of Jeremy Smith on that Tegrity Kawasaki. 9th now is Jonathan Alexander on the Phil's KTM number 31, and Foster drops back to 10th. Adam Holm comes through. He is charged up to 11th on the atom.com number 17. His teammate Tyson Craig, right behind him, runs in 12th. 13th, Ralston Bear, the 944 Phil's KTM. 14th for Devin Davis on the number 29 machine. Chase Blakely runs in 15th on that BPC Yamaha number 21. 16th for Ethan Parks on the Heckman Productions SYS Racing Honda. Caden Speck runs here in 17th on the Phil's KTM number 75. Lawson Dye on Stance, the number 174, I think that is, runs 178 actually, runs in 18th. 19th for Dylan Smith on the Jack Daniels Racing, number 132, I think. 732. There you go. Okay. And Jeremy Konauer rounds out the top 20 on his MV Films number 15 with Jack Haley on the 2-stroke right behind him. And Braden Carter, once again, here we are coming into the last 20 minutes of the moto, and he has still not made it into the points, but he is still coming, still trying to get there. And we'll see whether or not he can maybe somehow get back into the top 10 in this moto again like he had done before. Let's peek back up ahead. Interesting to see Adam Holm has done a terrific job getting through the field up to 9th. And, man, I could maybe see him still getting into the top 5 in this one. A 2:06.2, he just ran his best lap of the race. And Adam Holm is definitely on the move right here. Going to try to run down Jonathan Alexander. Hubbard, let's go take a look at those lap times real quick, though. 206 dead for Lang. Battle for the lead brewing. 206.9 Eaglin right behind. And Leclerc 204.4, so went a little faster than them last time by 6 seconds down. This could get interesting for the battle for the lead. Let's go back to it, though, because there's just 6 tenths in it. And Eaglin is right there, actually, pulling up alongside. Going to scrub the triple up the hill. Can he get the drive, though? That's the question. And he backs out of the challenge.
Yeah, he backs out of it. That's kind of what I thought would happen more with Leclerc, but when Janice kind of gave up the spot. But Eaglin's definitely pushing for this. Ran a little bit faster than Lang last time around, so I feel like that's going to give him some pep in his step right here as they're going to take alternate ruts. Lang with a little bit better corner there as he's going to pull this out a little bit. But in these tight corners, you see a lot of yo-yoing going on as you see a missed entry or exit from that corner. Tyler Lang still holding on to this. Kind of spreading it out, probably closer to about 1 second gap, but these guys are still tight. The thing is, if these guys get into a battle, it's only going to let Leclerc get up closer to them, and Leclerc is the fastest man on the track right now. So with a 204.3 followed by a 204.4, these guys are probably making mistakes, and Lang's going to go down as he blows the corner, loses the rear.
Yeah, slipped the rear end out. That's going to put Eaglin into the lead. Here comes Leclerc to get second. Oh, contact! No. And he gets together with Lang,
and they're both down.
They're both off the bike. So getting up from his crash, Lang just has Leclerc come across the front of him, and they both get together. That was Janice going by and into second place, and suddenly Lang, who was leading this race not just 2 corners ago, now sits back in fourth and has to do the battle with Leclerc and goes down again. Lang low sides through the first corner and falls off the bike immediately. Let's see if he retains fourth, or is he going to lose another spot? He's just going to get going as Magnetti gets there, and he will hold on to fourth.
And Lang is really throwing away that overall that he had pretty much secured easily. Colby Eaglin's going to have a 3-1 if things finish like this. Leclerc 5-2, and Tyler Lang would be a 1-4 now, 1-4 just in front of Luke Magnetti. Luke Magnetti's on the charge still, and Billy Kunitz as well is right there, so they're not giving up. Tyler Lang does have the speed, but does he have the ability to stay up and not make any more mistakes, as this track is only getting rougher here? As he goes down again, he's just pushing. He's flustered.
Wow, this is a big disappointment for Lang, who was arguably in the best position he's been in all year, and he's having to mentally regroup right here. I think he picks the bike up very slowly, just gets going before Jacob Hubbard gets there, so he's still in a pretty decent points-paying position in 6th, but it's going to be a lot different suddenly with Leclerc eyeing maybe a chance at still winning this moto, but it's Eagland out front, and suddenly Eagland has been thrust into a position to win the overall with a 3-1 score here.
Yeah, you look at Lang getting close to regaining the red plate just because of the finish or the positions he's finishing in, and now he just throws it away, and now he's just trying to stay in front of Eagland in the championship. These guys are all so close, so it's a little bit crazy out here, but Eagland now got a gift from them all. He's just going to try to stay smooth. We are now 21 minutes into this moto as he crosses the finish line, heading on to lap 12. No? 11. Okay. I thought it... Okay. But Eagland right here, I mean, you got 9 minutes plus 1 lap left. He's just got to stay smooth. They had dropped so far. I'm sure he's got spotters telling him that Leclerc's back there with Magnetti. Hubbard, we saw drop off, but Lang all the way down to 7th now. Adam Holm in 8th. These guys are not having the second motos that they would want to back up their first motos performances with tonight.
Yeah, but, Eagland, a big swap right there. And a big swap for Janice when we come on board to him. Leclerc definitely catching Janice. I wanted to go back to Adam Holm, though, because Salvage Ride Galore has come from well outside of the
18th,
points. Yeah,
last time I saw him.
Is up to 8th now and still trying to maybe knock on the door to get on the podium today. It's going to be really mixed up, though, to see kind of where everything ends up, and then I wanted to go back and see how far Carter has potentially made it up. Actually, looks like he may have lost some positions. Yeah, Braden Carter has lost more spots, and he is down in 25th now, so not quite the turnaround moto he was hoping for after a 9th in the first one, but he is arguably passed the most riders on the day so far, even though he has probably been passed back equally as much. That is Janice down, I think. Is it?
Yeah,
no.
Janice was the only, unless that's a lapper.
Yeah,
Janice was the only one on that gear up front.
Yeah, no, Janice is still here. So Janice still dealing with the pressure from Leclerc. 15 seconds off the lead from Eagland, but here comes the number 1 machine.
Yeah, it's never nice. It's never a comforting feeling when you hear that you have Leclerc coming up behind you. Oh my gosh, Janice just turns in a little bit early, is able to save it, but he's going to lose some time to Leclerc, and Leclerc has insane speed coming down these hills. Leclerc's going down the inside, trying to use a smoother line. He's going to get kicked out and actually save it coming down Mount Martin. He actually gained time, though, on Janice. Probably was off the brakes for so long trying to save that he's actually going to come up on the rear, and they're both going to use the same line right here. Let's see what happens when they get into the scrub section. See if Leclerc can make up any time, staying lower. See what happens here coming into the finish line section, and then we have that washboard section just after the mechanics area where a lot of passes happen, but a lot of big crashes can also happen as well.
Leclerc is definitely pushing as hard as he can to try to get into this 2 spot, and at the moment might be looking at salvaging a podium here today after what was a very frustrating first moto for him. To get all the way back to 5th, though, was still a good job on salvaging points there. Now trying to get into 2nd place on Janice, and might still have a shot at winning this moto depending on what happens with Eaglin out front, but this battle for 2nd is absolutely raging. Janice trying to hold Leclerc at bay. Leclerc has got some good lines, but it comes down to where can he actually sneak a nose in there and make a pass. So far they've been kind of following each other, and Janice has been great at defensive
where it might
riding.
happen right here. Leclerc's going to come up the inside. Leclerc got a little bit better drive there, but Janice knows he's going to shut the door for sure and take that away. But Leclerc's not done yet.
Leclerc got a great drive right there, but he has to avoid getting into the side of Janice. Still trying to double through the rollers, but can't quite get it done just yet as Janice holds steady. This is a terrific fight for 2nd place, and Janice doing everything in his power to ride a really good defensive race right here as well and keep the #1 machine behind him.
And Leclerc just trying everything he could throughout those sand roller sections. That's probably the safest place for you to pass if you can get a good drive and just power alongside someone. They really have no defense other than moving over like Janice did in the first section. And then the second one, Leclerc got an amazing drive, but just ran into the back of him. He was almost too close to him to make the pass. And now look, he's lost so much time. He's further away than he was in this section last lap around. So we're going to see Janice try to see what he can do. Leclerc going to use the left side, coming down actually straight down the middle, trying to switch it up, and Leclerc's better at this downhill. See if he can use one of these inside lines and sneak up inside. No, it looks like they're both going to use the same rut, and they're just funneling in, and all this time spent battling with Janice for 2nd is just him losing sight of 1st place there.
Yeah, they are now 16 seconds off of Eaglin, and Janice a slide out.
Mistakes.
Yeah, a little mistake for Leclerc, a bigger one for Janice, and that moves Leclerc up into 2nd. Janice now slips back to 3rd, and we'll see if the 130 Underground RC machine has a response, or is this Leclerc's opportunity to try to stretch out the lead on him, maybe close the gap down a little bit on Eaglin, and if it comes down to it, Eaglin might still have one more crash in him here with 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps still to go, and Leclerc could have a shot at winning this moto.
Yeah, Magnetti trying to hold on in front of Kunitz here for 5th place. 5th or 4th?
Yeah, I think this is 4th actually.
4th place, yeah, but he was just under half a
Leclerc was just
second.
down with Jack Haley, I guess. As that's Haley who was getting up from a crash, and Leclerc was also getting up from a crash. Now has Magnetti right behind him.
Yeah, Kunitz looks like he slid out in the back there too, so he's going to lose touch of Magnetti. So Magnetti's now hot on Leclerc's heels, and Leclerc's lost sight of Janice.
Actually, that is D Mills. That is Daniel Mills on Jack Haley's bike.
Yes.
So that I'm not sure if Mills was down and Leclerc hit him or what happened there, but they were both getting up pretty simultaneous. As we got a rider going down in the background. Was that Foster? No, that was Lang.
Oh.
Lang down again. And allows Billy Kunitz to stretch out the advantage on him there a little bit. And Lang gets going long before Jeremy Smith gets there. But Lang was maybe on the door of a top 5 again and crashes it away again.
It seems like everyone who performed well in the first moto in both these classes is trying to make the overalls hard for us. Colby Eaglin's like, hold on, I'll just go 3-1 and make it really easy for you guys. Jacob Hubbard as well, doing all right, but still dropping back, having some mistakes, and Leclerc as well, going to go 5. Actually, who knows, because he's falling up and down right now, so it's crazy. I thought he would have been able to put it together and start pulling away, but he's made so many mistakes here, whether he's battling with someone or not. He's making them all on his own, but he definitely has the speed more than Janice, who he's chasing down here right again. Let's see how much he can close down, but he's running out of time. 27 minutes elapsed here in this moto. and he's still trying to figure out a way to get past Janice and hold it.
Yeah, and for Lang's sake, even though he did crash there, sitting in 6th place with Leclerc, still not able to get back into 2nd. Lang is still actually gaining points on Leclerc in the championship today, though he is losing points in this specific moto. Currently losing 5 points to Leclerc after he gained 9 in the first moto. So it's not all lost cause just yet for Lang, as he's trying to continue to corral more points back in his favor and maybe only sit a low teen range down from Leclerc instead of 16 like it was entering. But Leclerc, of course, trying to stifle those advances that Lang is putting on him in the championship by going back in a second around Janice. All the while, Colby Eaglin is still leading this race, looking at a 3-1 performance and closing up on Lang in the championship here by quite a bit.
Yeah, Lang, someone said in chat, Lang's pulling a Hampshire. That's a pretty good one. But so Leclerc was for a while there, but he's got it together now. Eaglin, it's so insane that he's just cruising. He looks like he's not even trying right now, and he's still going so fast. I mean, he has the lead to be able to do that, but if you check his lap times, they're still up there with what everyone else is riding. He just found something else that nobody else has on this track here today, and he's able to make it work. 3-1 is a nice thing when you're the people you're battling with in the championship are both behind you. He may have been 3rd in the championship, but he's definitely going to be pretty pumped here coming out with the overall and performing better than everyone but Lang, who he was going against. He only lost 5 points to Lang in the first moto, but he's gaining a lot more than that in this one. So this is going to make it really tight. And Lang as well, if you're going to go 1-7, not too bad if your bad day is a 1-7, for this championship, because this 450 title is so tight. So these guys need to be inside the top 10 each and every moto. As long as they can do that, they're not hurting themselves too much.
Looks like we have lost Matthias Janice from 2nd and maybe even more, as he's battling there with Billy Kunitz. They're all over the back end of Luke Magnetti, and Lang's still hoping something happens with these guys. Oh, Janice, big kick coming down the hill, absolutely sending it. Kunitz trying to go down the inside of Janice, following Magnetti to this inside line. Who's going to come out with the advantage?
Janice with a twofer.
Yeah, it's together. Billy Kunitz got into the back of Magnetti, and that's going to allow Lang to close up a little bit closer to Kunitz at least. But Janice takes advantage to go back around Magnetti after, I believe, he crashed. And now Magnetti has to fight back.
Toolies. So Magnetti working his way up. He was so far back for a while there, and I'm surprised that he was able to hold on. Sometimes you drop back and you can just recover your flow and just start making it work. He hasn't come up fast, but he's going to make the move around the outside there and get into Janice. Magnetti goes down, and Janice gets sketchy going off the finish. Looks like he rode it out, though.
Yeah, that's going to be another spot for Lang, so advantage to the 14, moving up to 5th now, and still has 3rd right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to tighten these points up so much here. He doesn't have that much further to go. We just hit the 30-minute mark, but that was after the leader passed by, so we have about 2.5 laps left for our leader. Lang almost 3 full laps here, so he's got so much time to make up. You see he's ran that 2:02.9. He's definitely the fastest person on this racetrack. Maybe not for the last couple laps.
And up to 4th because Kunitz was down.
Oh, my gosh. So he's moving up. Magnetti 5th. So Lang is just only 3.5 seconds out of a podium spot.
Whoa.
Seems like no matter what these guys do, they're going to finish up next to each other. They started the race in podium spots. They dropped back to about 1st, 6th, and 8th. And Lang's going to blow it but stay on, and now they're closing in to being back on the podium. Magnetti goes back by. Magnetti's just a freaking trooper. He's chiseling it over here.
He's chiseling it over here.
And we're going to get a dually.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so Lang's going to try to get back around Magnetti here if he can get this pass done again and put him back into 3rd, and then he would tie Colby Eaglin for points on the day. Is up the inside. Who's going to get the better drive, though? Magnetti's got the drive around the outside, but Lang gets the power down and does so again. So back up to 3rd for Lang. And, I'm sorry, 4th for Lang. Wait, when did Janice end up here? I thought that Lang just moved into 3rd.
I think I saw that, but I didn't say anything.
Okay.
In the stand section, he was ahead of them both. We saw a glimpse of that. So, because Lang went down, pretty sure.
And then Magnetti's fighting back on Lang. Lang trying to go back down the inside into this turn.
Oh, my God. These guys are scrappy. I love these switchbacks late in the race. They can do whatever they want, move around, just shooting back and forth. insides, outside, all that stuff. Tyler Lang able to hold on to it for now, but Magnetti, who's just kind of seems stale for most of the race, just like he was going to stay there as Janice goes down. So they're going to move up. So that's actually is going to move Lang into third. They're going to tie with the overall. So Eaglin right now would finish with the overall, but Tyler Lang, I mean, he wouldn't gain any points, though. He would get the overall with the 3-1 over the 1-3. But Lang has got to be pumped. He's got to just stay here and not lose any more points. Right now, he's gaining on Leclerc, and that's what he needs for the day.
Yes, provisionally speaking, after this moto is done, it'll be a 9-point deficit for Lang when it entered as a 16-point deficit. So definitely gaining on Leclerc. And who knows, maybe Leclerc has a few more crashes in him. He's a little bit far ahead, but Lang still could be in it with a shot at second. He is still dealing with this pressure from Luke Magnetti. The 30 BPC Yamaha is relentless and just refuses to let the 14 go.
Yeah, these guys have a lap and a half left, and these guys are not giving up. Janice is sitting back there hoping that these guys get into it because he wants to get from that fifth spot all the way up to third. These guys have been battling all race. Tyler Lang up and down. Magnetti's kind of held it there after charging up, and Janice has just been cruising. He doesn't want to lose that third place spot. He's going to try and do everything he can as these guys are all in the air over the catapult at the same exact time. Lang now coming in first. Going to take this inside line, jump down the hill. He has no way to get to Leclerc as Leclerc hasn't gone down yet, but this is the battle we're looking at here because this is going to determine the overall. Or it's not going to change the overall, but it's going to determine the points between Lang and Eaglin, two of our title combatants here. So Magnetti and Janice have some work to do. They could definitely play spoiler for Colby Eaglin here.
White flag has waved for your race leader. Colby Eaglin over the finish line jump. Has one more lap to navigate here at Spring Creek before he will win the overall at the Spring Creek National. 3-1 scores. Leclerc just got plowed by, is that Caden Speck on the 75? Go back and figure out who that is. That is, Caden Speck.
He knows he messed up. They're going to let him get some time.
So, this is going to be interesting to see because now I think that is going to put Lang within crash range of Leclerc, or at least closer than he was. Let's see what the gap is.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's just past crash range unless you get one in one of these high-paced sections heading into the sand rollers where that momentum helps you, or at the bottom of the uphill at Mount Martin, or at the top crushing or coming down the downhill. So Leclerc is solidly in P2 right now. As long as he doesn't have a big mistake here, he's just got to ride this thing in.
As he's getting
there he goes down, right entering the sand whoops, and he's right there again with the same rider there. So he's going to lose all his drive. I wouldn't be surprised if Lane gets a good drive coming in.
Let's see what happens.
If he can catch him by the end of the whoops, at least get it closer.
This is going to get a lot closer out of nowhere as well. Leclerc suddenly with two quick crashes has Lang within striking distance. And if Leclerc has one more little mistake, Lang is going to be right there to pounce on it. So this could come down to another few points in the championship gained. Although what happened, Lang just made a little mistake and lost some ground. Magnetti is still right there just in case anything happens. Meanwhile, few corners left to go. Colby Eaglin out front dominating this moto here down to the end, and this is going to be huge for him in the championship. He's going to gain points on Leclerc. He's going to tie Lang on points for the day. But hey, you know what? This actually would change the overall if Lang could get Leclerc, so we're not out of the woods just yet. We cannot say officially that Eaglin is going to win this overall. He is going to win the second moto, and it may help him win the overall. Colby Eaglin comes into the final corner and wins 450 Moto 2 here at Spring Creek.
We want to celebrate, but Lang was 2.8 seconds back of Leclerc, not too far away. With all these switchback sections, you make one little mistake in a rut coming in or out of the corners, and that can be all she wrote. Leclerc's dodging lappers here, coming up the inside, rough corner. He's going to come over this, scrub this jump. He's got one more table, double, one more table, one more step up, and a downhill extra jump there. I didn't count, but Leclerc looks like he's going to come in. He's just got to cruise this around, dodging other down riders. That's so scary. And so that is going to solidify the overall for Eaglin as long as Leclerc doesn't tuck it right here. Leclerc's going to come by in second place with a 5-2 on the day.
This should solidify the overall, as you mentioned. 3.2 seconds. We'll just have to make sure cuts don't affect it. Caden Speck down with Magnetti in the final corner, so not exactly sure what's going on with with Caden Speck right there. But Janice will cross the line in 5th. Hubbard will be 6th here. Adam Holm all the way up to 7th. Great effort for him. 2-7 on the day. He'll probably miss a podium given where all these overalls are kind of scattered at this point, but still great effort for the number 17 in the second moto. Jeremy Smith coming down should get 8th here, and Jonathan Alexander inside of the top 10 in 9th. Chase Blakely 10th. Jack Haley trying to charge up to get that spot though on the 2-stroke. So he made it into the motos.
Freaking out right now hearing that 2-stroke screaming.
Ring-a-ding-ding-ding.
You know, there's only 2 of them out there, and they're both deadly. One's D Mills and one's Jack Haley, who's fast as hell.
Oh.
And Jack Haley's going to do what he did in the first moto, going down in the same
He's
spot.
going to send it into the last turn.
There you go, Jack Haley, and he's going to come across just short.
1/10 down, and Blakely disconnects immediately, so he must be very frustrated with that result. Tyson Craig side by side with Dylan Smith, a couple guys we barely ever see race this championship anymore, and they're duking it out for this 12 spot right now. Coming to the flag, who is going to get it? Crossover line. Dylan Smith going to try to charge to the outside line, just carry a little bit more speed in.
Yeah,
not going to quite get it done. It's going to be Craig crossing the line 12th. 13th for Dylan Smith. Ethan Parks with a 14th. Devin Davis will be 15th. Last rider on the lead lap. Jeremy Cohenauer lap down in 16th. 17th for Reed Young. 18th for Caleb Hall. 19th Pilsner. And 20th Carter.
He did it.
Let's go top down to look at cuts to see whether or not anything changes here. And no, actually Lang lost a little bit of ground. So Eagland, your overall winner here at Spring Creek. Leclerc second in the moto. Lang second overall with a 1-3 scores, I should say. Magnetti, Janice, Hubbard, Holmes, Smith, Alexander, and actually Haley did get around Blakely on cuts. Goes to 10th. See if anything else changed. Yes, indeed. Pilsner goes to 18th around Caleb Hall. And Carter does indeed pick up the final point here at Spring Creek. What a day of the races.
After all that first moto, second moto, Eagland comes out and wins by 38.4 seconds. I know Leclerc got into it with someone, but that's still just such a dominating ride, and it's got to feel so good to get the overall. You know you're gaining points back on Leclerc, both motos. So him and Lang have to feel pretty good here. Lang stopped the bleeding from Eagland, but gained on Leclerc. Eagland gained both of them, or gained on Leclerc as well. But he's got to have so much confidence coming out and winning by that many points.
All right, so, overalls in chat official. Eagland 3-1, Lang 1-3, and Leclerc 5-2. Thanks to KR Money, as always, for the updates in the chat. Thank you, Andrew Wood, again, for joining me for round 6 of the championship. A lot of fun. Shout out to rjerky.atom.com again for coming on board with us on the broadcast this year. But that is us done and dusted here for round 6. Halfway through the championship with Spring Creek now behind us. Washougal ahead of us next week, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this broadcast. Always a big thanks to all of you guys to come and watch these races every week. You guys make this a lot more fun for us to call the live action with you guys getting lively in chat. So thanks so much for that again. And we'll be back next week for some more racing action in MX Simulator. With the Grand Prix of Czechia and then the MX Simulator National of Washougal. So we'll see you guys then, but so long for now, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.